So be it for the time being. I mean, I'll figure this out. We're very close. I think what the real issue here is that I do not have enough memory space on my laptop. That's something I should have invested in a long time ago. And I'm gonna say, I mean, I'm willing to spend whatever I have, not all my money, but just because I don't have all that much. But I'm just like, it would really benefit my channel if my laptop had a better hard drive. That's what I think. And I could do this OBS probably without too much issue. God, I thought this computer was more powerful. I mean, it is a nice laptop. It just needs a few additional features, components. Hi. You love Toy Story 5? I never saw that movie. I think I've seen Toy Story 4. Seen all the other Toy Stories. I haven't seen that one. Maybe I should check it out. I haven't watched a movie in a long time. Last movie I watched was probably like 2 or 3 months ago. I watched What a Woman Wants with Mel Gibson. It was funny. It was a charming movie, actually. It was better than I thought it would be. It was just so freaking early 2000s, dude. It's quintessential early 2000s, that movie. You see, like 40-year-old Mel Gibson, you know it's going to be so 2000s. I'm just laughing because I'm also thinking of Gladiator and that one scene in Gladiator where he's like, it makes the blades stick. And it just sounds like he's saying blades dick. You watched it 6 times? Nice. Hey, good evening, Mr. Casey. How's the connection here? Is the connection all right? Have you seen Uncle Buck? No, I have not seen that movie. Is it on Tubi for free? I also should do more research and keep notes on like copyright and fair use so I can distinguish between like what I can show and what I can't. I would like to make some commentary videos too, man. I'd like to do what Asmongold does on his live streaming on his channel. I just think that's so cool. And, with my, recovery talk and all that, like to enjoy my video games with you guys and talk, goof off. Did I go back to heroin? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why would you ask that? Why would you ask that? Why would I be here if I was doing that? I wouldn't be doing this. Motherfucker. Stupid bitch. Of course not. Just curious, as if. As if what you're really saying is you look like a junkie. Are you a junkie? Are you still using like what a jerk. Anyway, fucking who cares? Um, you are great, doing great, honestly. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been clean since, and I know YouTube's gonna turn this into a highlight, as they always do. It's gonna become a live highlight, but I've been clean since February 28th, 2023. And I'll leave it at that. I hope they don't turn this into a highlight, because how many shorts do I need where I'm repeating the same damn thing? I mean, seriously, I guarantee it. 80% of the time it happens. 80% of the time. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just turn off Skyrim. I mean, I might play some Skyrim. Who knows? But I'll have to do it differently. Oh my gosh, someone's attacking me now. Fuck, motherfucker, what the heck? Go away, mortal. Yeah, I'm gonna quit the game. Turn that off. Alright. I'm turning off my microphone here. Okay. Hmm, it's weird. Completely unplugged out. Oh my gosh. Um, let's see. Let me look up best hardware for a gaming laptop or hard drive. For gaming laptop, gaming PC. When looking for the best storage for a gaming PC, you will want an M.2 NVMe SSD. Mechanical hard drives, HDDs, are now too slow to load modern game textures. Wow, yeah, it's that. This is definitely the issue we're dealing with here. I bet money on it. Um, are now too slow to load modern game textures, while internal SSDs have become incredibly affordable and are the standard for high performance rigs. Okay. Okay. The top storage options for your gaming setup depend on your speed and budget needs. Best overall gaming SSD, blah, 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 blah. And when I say blah, 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 I mean WD underscore black SN85 0x NVMe SSD for for raw gaming performance and rapid asset loading. Yes, the SN8 is the go-to. Okay, SN850X. I'll look that up on Amazon. That up on Amazon. How's everyone doing? I'd really love to start streaming my games, guys. I need a better hard drive though. When I get it, I'll be so happy. Fuck, man, I'll spend $300 on it if I have to. Man, I might even have to spend more. Who knows? Um, I've s- I've seen hard drives go for quite a bit. Okay, SN850X, SN850X, SN850X. There goes my gaming mouse because I have no room in here for anything. Good grief, man. Sorry. So and this thing makes me so crabby. So I've been spending like so. I'm actually pretty patient and tolerant. It's just I spent at least 2 hours trying to figure this out, or it seemed like it was 2 hours. I did make myself some dinner in between. Um, so more like yeah, maybe 1.5 hours, but still. Okay. Oh my gosh. WD Black SN850X 4 TB NVMe SSD M.2280 up to 7,300 megabytes slash S. Read speeds up to 6,300 megabytes. Write speeds. Gaming. What? And then there's this. Okay, that's 639 fucking dollars. And then this one's Acer Predator GM7, 1 TB. How many terabytes is this? 4 TB. That's 184. Okay, that's stuff. Oh my gosh. Okay. I might have to get one of these. Right. Man, that's expensive, man. Oh, WD Black Box SN8. I'll check this out because I want the best one. You know, best value. Ooh, depends on how many terabytes we have here. Okay. Visit item, save $52. Oh, this is eBay. That's $600. That's expensive still. I don't trust eBay. I really don't. Go away. Oh my gosh. This is what I'm looking at, guys. This is what I'm looking at. I'm debating. I'm debating whether I should get this for my laptop so I can do online gaming. Uh, Heat sink? What the fuck is a heat sink? What's a heat sink? That's 11% off and slightly cheaper for some reason. It's with the heat sink. SN850X with heat sink. What okay, I'm just gonna look it up. Fuck it. Um, okay, what is a heat sink? Oh, here we go. An SSD heat sink is a cooling device designed to help dissipate heat generated by a solid state. Okay, it's a cooling device. Drive during operation. It's typically made from aluminum or copper materials chosen for the. Okay. I mean, if it's cheaper with the heat sink, you'd think that uh, that would be a good thing to get. It's 11% off. That's why. That's why. Get 2 terabyte for like, let's see, okay, that's 8% off. Huh. Wow. Crazy. And this one's 1,224 bucks for 8 terabytes. I mean, yeah, it's no way. Okay, so this is WD Black SN850X 4 terabyte NVMe SSD with heatsink, M.2 2280 up to 7,300 megabytes, read speeds up to 6,300 megabytes, write speeds, gaming expansion, high performance internal solid state drive. WDS 400 C2XHE. You try and little and think it's all good. So then you buy in bulk to make it last longer. And soon enough, bulk order isn't enough anymore. I'm trying to just find a hard drive for my laptop so that I can use OBS Studio to play games. OSB Studio, I mean OBS Studio. OBS Studio. So like, yeah, what type of hard drive would you recommend? Let me just see. How much does a hard drive usually cost? I don't know anything about this stuff, so I'm just like, okay. Does an SSD drive cost? An SSD typically costs between 50 and 200, depending on the capacity. Bullshit. That's cheap for gaming PC. Are they trying to rip me off, or are they just wrong? An SSD for a gaming PC typically costs between 60 and 400, depending on the storage size and speed. Budget capacity is 500 gigabyte. Started around 50, while the standard gaming sweet spot, okay, 1 to 2 terabyte ranges from 80 to 250. Okay, well, let's go for 2 terabytes. All right. Since they see that's the standard gaming sweet spot. It says, okay, so 500 gigabytes to 1 terabyte, 50 to $100, ideal for budget builds for holding Windows and a few core games. 2 terabytes, 130 to 250, reasonable. I'd buy that. In fact, I'd spend more if it meant, having good quality. The most popular choice for modern gaming PCs. Okay, comfortably holding 20 to 30 large AAA titles. 4 terabyte, 350 to 450. Yeah, I do that. Best for enthusiasts and gamers who want to install their entire game library at once. Okay. Best external SSD for gaming PC. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's check it out. Okay. Ooh, that's five. Oh no. Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. That's 1 TB. Okay. That's $300. SanDisk, 2 TB extreme portable SSD, old model up to uh sorry, 1050 megabytes. Let's see. Solid state drive. Oh, and you could even choose a nice blue one. I don't care. I just want to play my game. Tough storage that's ready for life. Okay, so read speeds up to 10 1050 megabytes, write speeds up to 1000 megabytes, durability up to 3 meter drop protection, and oh, whatever. Okay, yeah, I get it. Security, blah, blah, blah. File management, easily manage files in free space with okay, okay. I mean, I guess it is okay. Yeah. And this is for gaming, right? I need to know. Is it for gaming? Wait, let me see. Tough enough to talk with you. Put a lock on your file. Okay, yeah. Okay. Your life's an adventure. Oh God, product description. To capture and keep its best moments, you need fast, high capacity storage that accelerates every move. Yeah, okay. Where does it say this is for gaming? Customer, okay. Oh wow. Not very good reviews actually. I don't trust Amazon reviews that much, but I try not to risk it too. Okay, it's Samsung T9 portable SSD 1 TB. I want more terabytes than that though. I'm willing to spend more than that if it means, getting my values worth and having it actually work. Okay, this one's Seagate portable 2 TB external hard drive for PC, Mac, PlayStation, Xbox. Seems to have good reviews. I'll check that out. Lots of people bought it. 2 TB. I mean, oh, what was that? What was I looking at there? Let's see. 2 TB or 4 TB? SN850X. Oh, if you use your PC for high-end gaming and demanding productivity tasks like video editing and streaming, precisely, the Samsung 990 Pro is unmatched. It features a smart heat control algorithm that prevents performance drops during long gaming marathons. Okay. 2 to 4 TB. Okay. Best value for budget. If you're working on budget, but still okay. Yeah, let's try that actually too for terabyte. Let's look this up. Hybrid SSD, Samsung 990 Pro. Let's look that up. Sorry, guys. See if they have that. Samsung 990 Pro with heatsink. 500 fucking bucks, only 7 in stock. It's got great reviews. This is Samsung 990 Pro 2 TB. This one has 2 TB too. Why is this one cheaper? Oh, this might be on sale. Samsung 990 Pro SSD 2 TB NVMe M.2 PCI blah 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 blah, blah solid state and reach. Okay, high end computing, gaming, heavy duty workstations. Yeah, okay. 42% off. One moment, I'm gonna check my bank account. Guys, I'm gonna have to be way more productive with these live streamings because I have less money than I thought I did. But I can buy this. And since it's 42% off, and I know I'm gonna need it, I'm gonna buy it. Okay. It's gonna make me poor as fuck. But I want it real bad. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that. I'm just gonna be very frugal, okay? This is my gift to myself. Um it's like 369 bucks. No, 370. Might as well be just 400, right? Samsung. That's the one they recommend for um for the best value, the best bang for my buck. Now, what did they say again? Yeah, hybrid SSD Samsung 990 Pro best premium. If you use your wait, is that the one? Wait a minute. Yeah, wait, best overall gaming. For raw gaming performance and rapid asset loading, it's the go-to. It pushes the limits of okay, loading times and operates at low latency. But the one I'm looking at here, if you use your PC for high-end gaming, demanding productivity tasks like editing or streaming, yeah. I mean, if I really want for my YouTube channel to be successful, I need to invest in this kind of stuff, right? I mean, seriously. Okay, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. It's 40% off, guys. How can I resist? How can I resist it? Okay. I'm gonna close my eyes as I press buy now. Click buy now. I can't watch. I can't watch. Wait, how much is it with the heatsink? Slightly more expensive. Oh fuck it. Should I get the heatsink? No, I don't think I can afford it with the heatsink. It's, I could probably buy a heatsink, when I can afford it, right? And just buy this right now. Buy them separately. Ask GPT. Okay. Not a bad idea, I guess. I don't use GPT a lot, so I'm not sure exactly how reliable they are. Okay, so I'll see. What? Okay, best hard drive for gaming and streaming. Searching for best SSD for gaming and streaming. For gaming and streaming, you should skip. You should Oh wow, that's 300. For gaming and streaming, you should skip traditional hard drives, HDDs, and get a 2 TB NVMe SSD. Modern games are huge, and streaming recording benefits from fast storage. Most reviewers currently recommend high-end PCIe 4.0 SSDs because they offer nearly all the real-world gaming performance of PCIe 5.0 drives at a better value. The thing is, that other one was on sale. Samsung 990 Pro 2 TB. What? Why is that so? Huh? Top tier PC. Excellent reliability, endurance, career, friendly performance. Huh. If you stream, edit clips, and move large video files regularly, the 990 Pro remains one of the safest premium choices. Why is it less expensive here? Still, best budget choice, 300. Affordable 2 TB NVMe storage for large game libraries without spending premium SSD money. And then there's fastest if your motherboard supports PCIe 5.0. Samsung 9100. Pro, 1 terabyte. I want more terabytes than that. Cutting edge PC performance for enthusiasts who want the newest storage technology. Um, wow, Instacart. What do you guys think of Instacart? I've never bought anything on Instacart. Samsung SSD 990 Pro with heatsink, 2 terabyte internal PCI compatible PlayStation 5, starting at 107. Is that the same one I'm looking at on? No, it's not. Thing is, like, I don't know. This is on sale, man. I'm just don't know. Don't know if I should trust Instacart. I honestly don't trust Instacart for some reason, but let me look it up and see if it's legit. Let me see if I've never shopped there, so I just don't know. I assumed it was just connected to Instagram, and I don't know anything about Instagram store, but I know that like TikTok is shit. I mean, it's shit already, but their store is absolute, isn't it? Full of scams. Let me see. Is Instacart worth it? Instacart. Instacart can be worth it for convenience and time savings, especially if you frequently order groceries or have difficulty shopping in store. But it comes with extra costs that may outweigh the benefits of occasional users. Okay, yes. Okay. Oh, I see. I see what that is. Um, and this looks good. It's just, I'd be getting it for $370 instead of 640, which is just crazy good. A good reduction right there. Let me check chat GBT again here. Um best budget pool choice. Let's see. For gaming and streaming. Let me ask a different question. Best hard drive for gaming and streaming on gaming laptop. Shush. For a gaming laptop, the most important factors are NVMe PCIe 4.0 support, 2 terabyte plus capacity, good sustained write performance and record for recording streaming, and low heat output. For most gamers and streamers, a quality PCIe 4.0 SSD is the sweet spot. PCIe 5.0 drives cost more and usually don't improve game load times noticeably. Okay. So they have, yeah, Samsung. Yeah, that's the one. Best overall Samsung 990 Pro 2 terabyte. That's the one I'm looking at up there. That's the one I'm looking at. I'm gonna buy it before they change, you know, uh take away my 42% off deal. Okay. I'm just gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it YOLO. Okay. Actually, I got it. Fucker. I gotta confirm my email. Not if I can't do this on my laptop, I'll just go to do it on there too. So I might have to confirm my identity. Wait a minute. Okay, good, good. There we go. Okay. Arrives the June 25th with upcoming delivery. Okay. I can't look. I can't look. Okay, I bought it. Fuck it. All right. I'm about as far as a church fucking mouse now. That's sad, but it could, It might be worth it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. That's exactly what this laptop needs. It needs a hard drive. Laptop itself cost me a fortune. So yeah, I mean, I should be investing more into it in order to be successful with it. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Gotta sell more paintings. Seriously though. Um, I'm actually really happy with how the Jesus painting's turning out. I'll test how dry it is tomorrow and I might work on it tomorrow, but I don't want to rush it. It's not like I'm rushing myself. I just gotta make sure that it's dry add before I add the next layer. Because you see, Christ's halo is gonna be painted with iridescent gold paint. Williamsburg paint, the good stuff. The best oil paints, in my opinion, are these three. I mean, Winsor and Newton's fine. Van Gogh's really good. Or Rembrandt, I mean. I think there might be a Van Gogh brand. I'm not sure. I never bought Van Gogh paints if they do exist though. But the best in my opinion are Gamblin. Gamblin's great quality, bright pigments and non-toxic. Williamsburg is one of my absolute favorites. They got beautiful, luscious, robust, buttery earth tones. Just makes me so fucking. And Sennelier, that's one of the best art brands around. And actually, the headquarters is right across from the Louvre in Paris. Let me see here. Let me show. Okay, okay. Dismiss. Oh. Are we still? We're still on, right? How's the connection, guys? Oh, no. We don't want to do that. Okay, one sec. How's the connection, everyone? Do I look tired? Maybe it's because I've been, trying to figure this out all in vain. It's all good. Awesome. Well, how are you doing? Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Lovely. I'm not able to share my information with you guys here. Okay, I want to turn that off. Huh. It's weird that I don't. Hmm. How do I just. Okay, there we go. Delete forever. There we go. No upcoming streams. What do you mean? I'm streaming right now. That's the weird thing. You think I'd be able to comments here. Let me see. No, I can't. Pin to live stream. That's so odd that I can't share my information with you guys here. Let me see. My channel. I had no issue with this before. Okay, well, oh, guys. Oh, no. Let me see if I can. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Go away. Join? Yeah, join. Oh, no, not that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, here we go. Now I can engage in the chat. Cool beans. Cool beans. Let's do this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, here we go. Now I can engage in the chat. Cool beans. Okay. Okay, we got this. All right. So here's my information, guys. I don't know why it's all different. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. It's so helpful. I'd really, really love to do more of my channel. Just help it expand, and it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. You know? Brick by brick, brick by brick. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We meet again, Darth Clorox. Okay, let's see. And I'll share my Instagram. That's where you can see a lot of my art. Anna dot Katrina dot art, and I'm gonna pin this info. And my Discord, if you'd like to join the server. Sometimes I forget to accept requests. That doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. It means that I have a hard time focusing on things, and I'll get back with you. Emerald underscore wing underscore 13473. Emerald EMERALD underscore wing WING underscore 13473. All right, cool beans, and I will pin that. Yeah, pin, 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 pin. I don't know what to think of the word simp, because I've heard people call guys simps just for respecting women, just for being nice to women. What's wrong with that? I mean, what do we call women who I guess we call women who are too nice to their men, or are too like nice to men, like pick me's. I just hate those terms. I mean, because most of the time when they're used, they're not befitting and they're not nice. I'd rather someone be chivalrous and respectful towards women, but not a doormat. That doesn't mean you're a doormat. Anyone who thinks that being nice to women makes you a doormat is stupid. Stupid, and probably 12. Probably an Andrew Tate fan. Like, even Asmongold thinks that Andrew Tate is wrong and full of shit. On I mean, everyone makes some true points every now and then, but then as soon as he talks about women, like even Asmongold's just like, no way, no way. This guy's fucking batshit. You know, if you're gonna, if people are gonna insult men who are nice to women, why don't you join Hustlers University? I'm sure that would be your cup of tea. And I'm not even like a feminist or anything, but it's just annoying when people think that guys who are nice and chivalrous towards women or respect women in any way, shape, or form must be simps. That's just lame. Actually, I think it's good. It's just ridiculous. Yep, beautiful eyes. Well, thank you. It's not simp, it's stump. Actually, I think it's fine. Like, people should be able to do whatever they want. But if you're gonna be in a relationship with someone, there should be agreements. It should all be consensual. For instance, I'm all for traditional marriages where the woman takes care of kids at home, and stay at home mom and all that, but it has to be consensual. The woman has to be okay with that. The man doesn't order her to stay at home and never be able to go anywhere. You know, it's like Andrew Tate thinks that women should, like, the woman that he's like married to, or his main girlfriend, because of course he can go out and sleep with all other women, but his girlfriend can't. She's not allowed to leave the house, and that's bullshit. No, it should be consensual. However, if a woman wants to work, she should be able to do that. But there should be an agreement before you start a relationship with someone. There should be an understanding as to what both parties want. And if you don't want that, then that's fine. As long as things are clear at the beginning and you're able to reason and discuss, uh, you know, as long as we're able to discuss our respective uh, needs and desires and what we want out of life, then I think that's good. Has you know Also if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're doing a lot of unpaid labor, a lot of unpaid work. You take care of kids. You're a teacher. You're a cook or a chef. You clean house. You take care of a whole bunch of things, right? And if you think that none of that entails any work, any skill, any type of it's hard work. If you think that it's like you're just staying home being lazy or whatever, first of all, if a person's doing that, and I know some people do that, they're not a good parent. Being a parent, or um you know just being a housekeeper can be hard work that not only is it not paid. And she can work from home, by the way. A lot of women work from home when they're in that situation. But if it's unpaid, you lose sleep. There's no, like, my work shift's over, I can relax now, I know what to expect. No, you gotta, like, be always on alert to make sure that everybody around you under this roof is um sustained and getting what they need, especially the kids. So, I mean, it's unpaid, never ending, unpredictable labor. It's a job, whether you want to believe it or not. And I know if you don't believe it, you just fucking have a big beef and hate women. That's what I think. Yeah. Yeah, I think, it's and if like people want to talk about it, and for instance, if they want it the other way around, if two people meet and they want to discuss getting into a relationship, and the guy wants to be the stay-at-home dad and the woman wants to work, and they both say, "Hey, that works. I'm all for that." Then that's fine too. It all comes down to consent, you know? You can't, just you don't own anyone. It won't work unless there's communication and an understanding from the very beginning. Yeah. Without that, that's it's very foolish. It's very foolish. No, because I'm not a caveman who just, I don't have any kids because I'm not, with anyone right now. I haven't met anyone. What do you think? We're all cavemen. We just go and fuck the first person we meet out on the savannah or wherever, and tundra. Fuck. And just like, oh my gosh, we gotta have kids now, or no, I have to have a baby. I'm gonna select the first Chad I see on the street. It's like, no, it doesn't life doesn't work that way, bro. And there is, and I'm not the only one dealing with it. I'd love to have kids someday, but I need to meet someone. And I think that us millennials are dealing with a bit of a issue there, where a lot of us are having a hard time socializing, getting out there, doing stuff, meeting people. A lot of us are in our houses. Now I go out and do things. I take my dog out, I hang out with my friend, but I don't, you know I go hiking sometimes. I go out, but I'm an introvert too, so I don't usually go out around groups and hang out with a bunch of people like I used to when I was in college. A lot of people meet their significant other in college or wherever. It's difficult, but it's not from a lack of trying. It's not from a lack of like getting out and doing things. I'm just kind of introverted and shy and I have a hard time with that, man. I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to stream. I'm getting used to it. When I get used to these things too. I get used to a certain environment. But I would like to live stream because it's helping people in recovery. I enjoy playing video games. I enjoy painting. You know, those are things I enjoy. I think if I continue to do the things that I enjoy and pursue my passions in life, then I'm going to meet someone who, you know, lifts me up, doesn't bring me down. Someone who loves me because they can see that I'm a passionate person with hobbies who, isn't just a decoration on their wall. I know some guys, that's what some guys want. They just want a decoration, but amen, you said it. Amen. I enjoy staring at squirrels. Is that because they have big balls? Their ball to body ratio is quite something. No, no, I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. Currently, society raises cortisol levels, etc. The weird danger perception with no real danger. Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. And I mean, I don't think our parents really had. I mean, boomers and people before that really had helicopter parents as much as we have to the extent that we have. Parents are a lot more controlling. I've seen lots of negligent parents. That's like, that's always existed, but there's a lot of helicopter parenting right now. People are paranoid, scared of the outside world, and that's not good either. In fact, that can be even more damaging. That can stunt a young person's growth. People need to learn for themselves. Actually, the more smothering and preachy a parent is, the more resistant a kid is to their advice, and the more they want to go out and rebel and do their own thing and not be associated with every expectation their parent presses on them. That's just human nature. That's the way it works. You know, I'd love you 1,000 times over if I stop what? Stop what? I don't care. I don't care what you think of me. If Drop Dead Gorgeous was a crime, he'd be serving a life sentence. Oh, gee, shucks, man. How old am I? I'm 35. I'm 35. I know some people think that's like Methuselah. I just had dinner. Let me look at my teeth. Eh. Oh my gosh, I do need to brush my teeth. I just had dinner. I'll be right back. I'm gonna just let my toothbrush be right here while I talk to you guys. I know. I should have done this before. One second. You know, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong making a bit of a career, making my revenue and my career off of streaming. Because in a way, if it is helping people too, that makes it even better. If it if I mean, I have regulars here and people who come back, and when I'm gone for a while, they say they miss me, and I'm told in my DMs that my content is inspiring and helping people with recovery and, bettering themselves in that sense. I'm honest. I don't, pretend to be something I'm not. I take accountability for my past mistakes, and I try, I just try to be real. And I mean, I don't even need to try to be real, honestly, but, um, you got a lot of fake people on the internet, and I know people are looking for real connection, and that's a thing. That's why I just bought that expensive hard drive. Is I would love to start gaming too. It's something I'd love to do. I've been really, really inspired by Asmongold and his content. He's my favorite streamer. I listen to him as I fall asleep. I find him very inspiring. I don't agree with everything he says. I know people think things are black and white these days. You're either with us or not, or you're against us, or if you like a certain person, you must agree with everything they say. It's like, no, that's not the case either. It's like it's unbelievable how crazy close-minded people can be. And we live in a world where lots of our jobs are being given to AI, like computer coding and stuff like that. It's all going to be AI. And it's going to, we're going to be a lot of jobs that like that. People aren't going to be working anymore. This live streaming is, I think, really, really good. And there you have people sleeping on their live streams. I mean, make your money, in the easiest way. But I'm not trying to be judgmental. It's just, I know that I don't get it. I mean, I kind of do. But what I don't get is, like, why people pay people to sleep in front of them? Does it make them feel like they're sleeping next to them? Like, I've seen guys and girls doing it though. I've seen it 2 times. I've seen 2 live streams where people were doing that. In one live stream, the woman was a woman, and she had huge tatas, and the camera was angled right here so that people were like, that's basically what you're looking at right there. Her boobs, each boob was bigger than her head. All right. And that's what she had the camera angled in such an obvious way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable if that were me, man. I mean, you do you, okay? No mean to be so judgy, but it's like I wouldn't want creeps looking at me while I'm sleeping. It's just weird. And then the guy was some like 700, 800 pound dude. No, I'm not, dude. This guy made 300 pounds look skinny. He was fucking, he was sitting on his couch snoring away. He was sleeping. And my first thought on that guy was, I'll bet his viewers are just waiting for him to croak. They're waiting for him to die in his sleep. They're a bunch of sickos. I'm okay. Probably some of them, at least. You know, like, why are you watching someone who's like using a breathing machine, sleeping, and bigger than the couch? Yeah, it's crazy. That's one thing I don't like about internet culture, is the fact that people, I mean, I get morbid curiosity. I am no stranger to it. I have morbid curiosity. I watch a lot of true crime. But like, I think the reason why Nikocado Avocado was so popular for a while and was the richest YouTuber and got so much money despite making such shit content there was because people genuinely wanted to invest in him killing himself, and they wanted to be the ones to see him croak. They wanted the part of it's morbid curiosity, and part of it, I'm guessing, was just sick, just being sick. Why would you want to watch a person you know degrade their health to that extent? To the point where they could have a heart attack anymore. Not only that, but he put on like what 300 pounds, like 250 pounds or so over the course of a year or two. Forget. Over many years? Well, I mean, it was, like, since 2016, right? And he ended it in, like, 2020, 2021. I forget. I'd have to look that up. But I think he started that whole thing in 2016. That's crazy. The TLC effect, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's why we have shows like TLC, because people like to watch miserable people and think to themselves, even if it's subconscious, I'm glad I'm not that person. You know? I'm I'm glad I'm not that person. My life may be trash and shitty, but at least I'm not them, you know? I think a lot of people think that way, and that's okay, you know? Sometimes I feel that way. I see someone who's really like on like documentary or whatever, true crime, like shit. I'll see like people who went really far with the heroin and it pretty much to the point of almost no return. I'm like, gosh, I was addicted for 6 years. I could have been in those person's shoes. How come I'm lucky, that I'm not like that. But it's sad too. Sad. It's not good to watch that stuff too much because it gives you a bit of a cynical, fierce, fearful outlook on life. Oh, thank you. Why do you, what the heck, millionaire trustee? First of all, you say, hey, at least I love you. And then you tell me that you see the devil in my eyes ready to escape. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? You're obviously saying that probably because there's something about me you know about that you don't agree with, whether it be politics, religion, or whatever. I'm a Christian. Fuck you. Not mean, then what do you mean the devil in my eyes, man? No one's ever said that to me. Everyone I've known and talked to on here has told me that my eyes are beautiful. And I'm not trying to, be arrogant or brag or just be like that. I'm just saying that's just the truth. That's just what it is. I don't have any rage in me. What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you think that any woman who's passionate about anything is rageful? Because I know some guys do think that if women, so much as express well, if we so much as have any vigor or passion or opinions, strong opinions on things, they think we're full of rage, which is just stupid and ridiculous. You're intelligent. Well, thank you, life. I'm not wrathful at all. You don't know me. She knows exactly what she's saying. Thank you. There are more sins to be a slave of. Who the hell are you even preaching to, man? I'm a proud Catholic. You don't know me. You don't know me at all. Eyes can express so many things. Probably, I mean, you're judging from what you're saying to me when you don't know me. And this is probably the first time you've ever been here. I'm just imagining what you might look like, okay? Sometimes I just get a sense and I imagine that you probably have Sanpaku eyes, right? Do you have Sanpaku eyes? Is that how you pronounce it? Me too, proud Catholic from Poland. That's what's up. You're on point in all you say. Well, I mean, I'm not perfect. I can be wrong. Just like anybody, man. But, I mean, but I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm willing to change my mind on things like I have in the past, but not that many times. Um, yeah. We're all human and all imperfect. Amen. Absolutely. Strong, beautiful, and wise woman. Well, thank you, Dorian. Are you wearing a mask? What does it look like? Uh, the eyes do tell. I'm with him, something is up with you, but not the devil. I'm You see this? I'm wearing some nude colored eyeliner on my waterline and makeup, and I'm tired. I've been trying. Look at You can see my brows sort of furrowed. That's because for the past like 2 hours I've been trying to figure out this software, but to no avail because I've realized that once I got it to the point where I pretty much succeeded in getting it all set up, you guys could see the game. You could see me in the corner. I thought maybe you could, maybe you couldn't, but maybe you couldn't see my face in the corner. However, I was getting really close, and then realized that it's lagging, it's shit, and I need a better hard drive. You see, I'm just tired, guys, and it was big for me to get on here and try to figure that out today because I've been intimidated by it and I have been resisting it for so long. And I've got anxiety when it comes to those things. So I'm glad I at least made an attempt and I made better strides without as much confusion. So I bought myself a hard drive and it was fucking expensive, man. And that's probably, kind of, I'm trying to throw it in the back there. It's just like, it'll be worth it, and making excuses for it. But at the same time, I feel a little bad for spending that much fucking money on. I hope it turns out well, though. I hope that the means justify the ends. Am I with anyone? Man, woman, both? I'm with no one at the moment. I'm with absolutely no one. I'm living with my family at the moment. I mean, there are reasons for that. I mean, I would like to have a more sustainable job, and I'm looking for that. I have an emotional support dog attached to my hip. He's just been an angel for me, and during my recovery, and makes me feel safe. And yeah, it's a long story, but at the same time, I would like to turn the streaming into something. I worked at a cafe for 10 years and it really burnt me out. And I mean, I loved it. It was a little small business. I worked solo in the afternoons. I managed that whole place. My boss loved me. He called me his superstar employee. Um, but it was also a place where you met a lot of people with drugs and stuff and like heroin, and that's pretty much really how I came across that stuff, even heard of it. So yeah, it is what it is. Or no, I mean, I took some when someone offered it to me when I lived in student housing. I invited them over, and then I learned more about it down the road when I asked for more. I don't know, man. It's everything's just such a blur with that stuff. And I'm glad I got clean. It was, there's a point, and it doesn't, the honeymoon phase doesn't last long. And there's a point where it's just not fun anymore, and you're just trying to get by day without getting dope sick. It's just you don't want to live like that. Um, I know I'm going on a tangent. That's why I changed my name to Tangent T, because we go on lots of tangents and talk about all kinds of things here, don't we? But yeah, just tired from spending 2 hours trying to figure that out. It was Could have been longer actually. I don't even remember what time was it. Let me think. It was 3 o'clock. It was 3 o'clock. Okay, when I decided to sit down and figure that out. So, and it's 9 o'clock right now. I haven't been live streaming here very long. It's been an hour. So about 8 o'clock. So it was 5 hours of me trying to figure it out. I mean, look at this, guys. I got some notebooks to keep notes and to write down bullet points and to try to make my streams better, more cohesive, more ideas, more stuff. And just look, I kept a whole bunch of notes while trying to figure it out and watching tutorials and stuff. That's I mean, the majority of that time was spent doing this, keeping notes. And then after that, I looked at just looked it up on Google. I'm like, why didn't I do that? Because I realized that that video was like an old one. So it wasn't, I'm sure that they've upgraded OBS Studio and their whole layout. So I was like, oh, I shouldn't be writing down that, from an old video. I should be looking up the latest instructions on how to use it. So I did that and I was able to figure it out. And but except that my computer's not powerful enough to deal with it. I'm gonna be very happy when my hard drive comes in the mail and I set that up and we can try it from there. And this time I won't be as confused because it's really not as hard once you get the hang of it. It's just a real pain in the butt at first. So yeah, I'm tired. I been feeding my dog a new diet because he gets yeast and bacterial growth, overgrowth, yeast, kochi, and rods. It's the last time I took him to the vet, and I stopped feeding him the Kirkland dog food, and his scabs, which were just accumulating all over his body, and he had a big ass like a ping pong ball, slightly smaller ping pong ball sized bald spot on his hindquarters. That's almost gone now, pretty much. Pretty much. It's crazy. Just changing his diet did that. And I don't even think it's been a full week of me feeding him just real food instead of dried dog food. And that Kirkland stuff has some good ingredients like beet pulp and chicken. I don't know, brown rice is good. But it also has like peas, and I didn't think you were supposed to feed peas to dogs. And there's also like there's some barley in there. I'm wondering if it's the barley because it's one of the first ingredients, right? Is barley really good for dogs? Anyway, so for instance, I'll just tell you what Shando had for dinner, okay? I gave him some jasmine rice. I cracked a raw, cage-free, farm fresh egg in there, including the eggshell. Kind of crumbled it up and pulverized it because that's extra calcium. He had some slow cooked hamburger, and he had a little tiny, 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 tiny bite of my salmon because that's mine. And he had some of that yesterday. And this morning he had banana in his food. This time he didn't have banana in his food. I gave him half my banana that I put into my cereal. Actually, the bananas are too ripe for my liking, so I gave him uh two-thirds of that banana. And always a carrot. I chopped up a carrot. I don't peel the carrot. I know that I have a sense that dogs enjoy that kind of rough um that the roughness on the outside of the carrot, without being peeled. So I chopped that up small. He's not a big carrot fan, but if you mix it up with everything else, he doesn't care. Um I need to go shopping too. I need to go shopping for his diet. I was gonna make a list, in fact. That's a good idea. I'll do that now in a minute. What else did I put in there? I put in so a cracked egg, some beef, rice, carrots. I have a feeling there was something else. Sometimes I put like frozen blueberries in there. Those are really good for dogs. Oh man, I feel like there was something else. I'm just not. A little bit of applesauce, tiny bit of applesauce. So yeah, I just gave him whatever's good for him. You know, good for his skin, good for his gut microbiome, good for his coat. Do I go to meetings, Daniel? I used to starting my recovery, starting my recovery. I wouldn't mind finding another place to go to meetings every once in a while. Just have to bring Shanda with me, and they're usually pretty cool about people bringing their dogs. Granted that their dogs are chill, and Shando's pretty chill. Shando's pretty chill. In fact, at the other place, like they're cool with Shando there, but then someone brings in their little yippy Pomeranian like dog to just bark, bark, bark at Shando, and Shando's intimidated by little yippy dogs like that. And then we have to, and then I feel obligated to leave, So I get up and leave because I don't know. I shouldn't do that though. If I'm there first, I'll definitely leave if I go in there and immediately another dog barks at me and my dog, because yeah, I'd feel so bad if they had to get up and leave when they were there first. But there have been times when, they stay, their dog won't shut up, and they're looking at me like I'm the one who's in the way, with my big dog. He's 105 pounds or so. I think he weighs less now because he has lost a little weight, which is good. He was slightly overweight. He has a propensity to put on pounds, that Shandle. He really does. And I'm telling you, it's because I think it might be because he's got a lot of Rottweiler. He's got a lot of Mastiff too. Not that much Mastiff, 5% Mastiff. He's got 19% Rottweiler though. I think that those dogs get a little chunky if you're not careful. He's got mostly Golden Retriever and Boxer and Rottweiler. Anyway, that's my dog. I love my dog. And I'm going to write down a grocery list for him. I have my little notebook. I know it's over here. So, oh, here we go. I'll just use one of these flashcards. I won't waste this. That's a nice jail pen. You have a Rottweiler named Bella. Aw. Yeah, they're sweet dogs. They're sweet dogs. I had we had neighbors behind our backyard who always had Rottweilers, but they mistreated their Rottweilers, and in my opinion, abused them. And their Rottweilers, one of them bit my sister, a chunk out of my sister's arm. Now I'm not sure exactly what went down there. However, I blame the owners because they mistreat their dog, and gone to the dog park with Shando and said hi to a few Rottweilers, and they were all sweethearts. They were all complete sweethearts. Like this one Rottweiler looked like, they were overfed. This was the fattest Rottweiler at the dog park I've ever seen. It was a tub. It's its stomach basically touched the ground. It was so fat and roly poly, but it was a sweetheart. You know. Like, yeah, it's at least they're not trying to make their dogs aggressive. And I think that's why some people get those dogs or pit bulls because they think they're so tough and so cool, and they try to train their dogs to be violent just so that they look tough. You know, back when, I'm not sure when exactly, but a long, long time ago, pit bulls were actually bred to watch over your baby while it slept in his or her cradle. And then they fell into the wrong hands, and I notice a lot of people who have pit bulls mistreat them and don't take accountability when their pit bull bites someone or someone else's dog. And I say that from experience because Shando, and I'm not fucking kidding you, has been bitten by 4 or 5 pit bulls, and he's only 3. First time was this so-called friend I had at the cafe who hated me because of my politics, ultimately. But and would just accuse me of things I never say, kind of like the way they call us like Nazis and stuff like that, bigot and HITLER, and just because I said I supported Trump. Anyway, so her pit bull, which was known for attacking other people's dogs, and They would never take any accountability for it. It was always their fault. Like, oh no, you know. And Shando, when he wasn't even full grown, he was like a year and a half old. I'm watching him close, but we're in this like small space back patio. Everybody's getting comfortable with each other, right? And everything seems so chill. And Shando has always gotten along with this dog. I didn't, they never told me that their dog was violent or would hurt anybody. And I thought Shando was getting along fine with this dog, but he goes over and just takes a sniff of my ex friend's bag, takes a sniff of it. And this dog bites Shando in the face. And it was so fast, I heard his squeal. And I thought everything was fine because he seemed fine, tail wagging, just seemed like, but it was probably a stress response, that type of tail wag he had, you know. I only noticed something because I couldn't see anything, right? I didn't see any owie, but then I saw a little tiny pool of blood emerge right beneath its eyeball. So this dog could have been out his eye. The other time this happened was when I was at the dog park and some dude bro was standing there with his pit bull and he wasn't paying attention to it. Don't remember if he was on his phone or what. I wasn't even paying attention to him. I was paying attention to my dog. But then as soon as I turn my head around, Shando lets out this scream. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I see this pit bull has bitten, is fighting with Shando and has bitten him right on the hindquarters. And that's a much bigger, I mean, it wasn't like a big chunk, but it was bigger than the, one under his eye, which was like almost just a puncture. He got bitten on the hindquarters and it left a scar, left a mark for a little while. And this dude isn't doing anything about his dog. He's just like not taking any accountability, not disciplining their dog, not stopping them from biting my dog who did absolutely nothing to this dog except maybe try to play with them like they dogs do at the dog park. I thought Shadow gets along with all dogs. And so the third time this happened, I went on a date with someone who happened to have two gray pit bulls. And when we went back to his place after going out to eat and going hiking, uh this suddenly just out of nowhere these dogs start like you know how they sometimes get like that. Well, these pit bulls just start biting Shadow. Shadow's like because he's a big baby. He doesn't want to fight back when it comes to our dogs. Maybe when it comes to people, it's different because I've had weird people try to approach me. Like I was sitting at a cafe just enjoying my coffee when some notoriously known homeless person comes up to kind of harass me and my friend while we're enjoying our coffee. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have cash on me. And he just keeps on it and at it and at it. My dog, Shand, was just like, "Rrrr." And I've had people walk up to me unruly, being all weird. And like, yeah, it means lots of, I mean, and there are some people in Portland that are just like that kind of weird. And Shando is just like, so I think like with humans, he'll definitely like protect his mama, but when it comes to other dogs, he's a baby. He's just a baby. And so this date I had, it's a little while back, um, bit Shando, but it didn't really draw blood. It was just an attack. It was just like, and the guy's like, oh, they've never done that before. I'm thinking to myself, that's what they all say. Speaking of that's what they all say, I have another one for you. Um, and the fourth time it happened that I can remember was oh yeah, that just recently, just fucking recently. It wasn't even a month ago. I'm walking down the street to the train station, and out of nowhere, someone's gray pit bull comes running, charging at us, and starts attacking Shando as Shando's leaning up against me like Mama save me. Shando's not fighting back even though he's like three times larger than this dog. And this dog has bit a little teeny tiny superficial chunk bite out of Shando's jaw, out of his chin. I even had to send the police a photo. And then finally the neighbor one of the neighbors came out, not the owners, unfortunately, the neighbors, one of the neighbors, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that those dogs," and it wasn't just one dog, it was two dogs, but only one of them attacked Shando. I mean, it was the pit bull. The other dog was this brown and androgynous looking dog. I don't. Anyway, he said, "Yeah, these dogs have been running around the neighborhood since yesterday." And then I said, "I don't want to be the one to do it, but I'm gonna have to call the cops." He's just like, has this lackadaisical, like, "Oh, okay." So I go and I call as I'm on my way to the train. I'm on the train. I call the cops, and they asked me to send them a photo of Shando's boo boo. They asked me to give them the street, the details, the color of the dog, the type of dog, all that. I do that. And then later on they call me back asking for a photo. And then after that they tell me that they've contained the dogs, all this, and they thank me because apparently this has been a reoccurring issue of these dog owners letting their pit bull run rampant around the neighborhood, putting little fucking children at risk and other small dogs. You could have ripped Shando's ear off or something. Could have you could have ripped his nose off. So so I was glad that they were able to contain the dogs, but I felt bad because really it's the owner's fault, for doing that. It's like someone could get hurt. And I didn't want to be the one to do it, but I did because it is what it is. You don't want anyone else getting hurt. Without Shando, I might have gotten hurt. And also, just an hour beforehand, I was walking the neighbor's dogs down that very same fucking street. The neighbor's dogs could have gotten hurt as I was walking them, as they were in my care. I can't tell how bad I would feel. And not only that, but one of the dogs that is old and crippled. So anyway, that happened. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So, I think in a lot of cases, I mean, you have like dogs that are bred for certain things and genetics and certain just people who get buy dogs for the wrong intentions. And often I find that, oh, here's another story. One of my friend has a pit lab mix, mostly pit bull. And this dog, we're at the dog park and someone comes in with the most harmless looking dog. It was a tiny little collie with white and red spots. And he comes in and my friend's dog and granted also this whole time that I'm spending the night there, like she's telling me my dog doesn't listen just because upon me arriving, she's trying to give my dogs commands, and Shanda's too excited to see his friend. So she's putting me down by saying that my dog doesn't listen when in fact he listens to me. He listens to me. And the point is that he's not supposed to adhere to anyone else's commands because then someone might be able to steal him or something, or manipulate him, or I'm his master. I give him commands no one else does. That's how it is, like how dare you try, it was just so ick. But then I would see, like, and then my dog would listen to me and be good when he's not used to like sleeping outside on the patio. And we saw like a few homeless people sitting at the table across the way, like right where I could see them, even when it was dark. Just there's one lamp right there. And Shando just went, because, even here at nighttime, not in the daytime, but at nighttime, if someone's walking down the hallway to use the restroom, Shando would do that too. Because he's in protection mode and he sleeps at the end of my bed to protect me. Even when, it's like, no, go Shando, it's okay. And then he'll stop. He won't, start barking. And I was afraid he'd do that when we were sleeping outside on the balcony patio. And those people were out there, and Shando was like, "Rrr," and I said, "No, no, no, Shando, you're gonna have to get used to people walking around. We might have to get our own apartment someday, blah, blah, blah." So he didn't bark. He obeyed me. He listened to me like he does. I tell him to come here and he listens. Now he's still a puppy. There are times when he is a little stubborn, but that's only when he's it's sensory overload excitement. He's so excited to see his friend. Anyway, I tell my friend that my dog, listened and how good he was, and she's just like, anyhow, I saw like at least 5 times her dog didn't listen to her, and she's acting all self-righteous and superior to me. Like, what kind of a friend is that? And then when we're at the dog park, okay, I'm getting to it. We're at the dog park, and her dog attacks this dog. This guy just arrived, and her dog attacks this dog, and then they leave immediately, promptly. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My dog's never done that before." And then she said, "Okay, I'm gonna leave, and you can stay if you want, but I'm not rewarding my dog for acting that way." As if my dog's ever acted that way, for one thing. Like she's comparing, or like I'm better than you. It's like I'm a better dog owner than you. My dog's never acted that way ever. I've never had to take Shando out of the dog park for misbehaving with another dog ever, ever. I've only had to leave when someone else's dog attacked him once. And it was the pit bull that I mentioned. Anyway, so like she said, "Oh, my dog's never done that before." And as we're going, I'm not hearing the end of it. She's talking, making excuses, saying it was a mutual thing between her dog and their dog. And then she's like, then she changes her story and says, "Oh, it happened twice. It only happened twice." Of course, because that's what they all say, man. Fuck. You know? You know what I mean? Know what I mean? So my point in bringing this up is that Shanna's been attacked by at least 4 pit bulls, at least. And my friend's half pit bull attacked someone at the dog park in front of me. And the one pattern I notice from each and every single one of the owners is that they don't take accountability. They blame the other dog or the other owner or whatever. They let their dogs do whatever they want. They spoil their dogs. I mean, but not in a way that's sweet. It's just kind of like making excuses for them left and right, and it's always someone else's fault. That's the pattern I notice. Also, they think they're tough shit. They get dogs like that because they think it makes them look tough. That's what I think. That's what I think. My trans? No. Hello, any tips for new sobriety? Well, what that depends on what you're getting clean from or what you're getting sober from, man. I would, depending on what it is. But I would say in general, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to alcohol, it's good to find a counselor. It's good to exercise. It's good to maybe get a therapist, someone you can talk to and connect with. I think that's so important. Um, not having such high expectations of yourself, as in take it nice and easy. Be patient with yourself. Let yourself learn to rest with your feelings and live with your feelings as intense as they might be. Because obviously, our dopamine levels have been so dormant and suppressed that once they come back to normal levels, then our emotions are gonna rise to the surface like a volcano, just full sway. It's like with heroin, especially. And alcohol withdrawal can kill you. So, talk to your doctor, get a counselor or a therapist who can help with things like addiction, give you good advice. Watch some feel good movies, get back into your hobbies, passions, but don't be too hard on yourself if you can't get into that back into that easily. If you have doubts, like with my painting, it took me a little while to get back into my painting because, and the harder I was on myself, the more I tried to push myself, the more depressed I get. So maybe get a sketchbook and doodle. Don't set high expectations. Start small. And exercising, do sensory activities, not not don't give yourself a headache or anything. If you love to read, read books about recovery and the 12 steps and all that. There's a lot of content on YouTube about recovery, like here, like what you're watching here. Um, Video games help me. A place, just kind of a more wholesome way to escape. And um, it also just leads to more ideas and more doors that'll open for you. Just start small. And I think that initially, especially if heroin addiction, and I think weed is okay. I mean, I don't know where you live or where it's legal. I mean, here, but for me at least, it is illegal here, and uh, weed prevented drug dreams. That's why I'm saying that. Other than that, I mean, weed can be good for some things for some people, especially if it's a medical thing. But for me, it's like once in a while. The only time I think it's good for me, or the only time I can do it and be productive is if I only do it at the end of the day after I've completed my priorities, after I've completed my task, meaning after I've painted, after I've live streamed, after I mean, I can do that and take Shanda for a walk at the same time. It's just that my speech coordination sucks and I get a little bit lazy when I do it. Except that I do like to walk and do chores. Which I don't know why I'd say I'm lazy, but like I just can't like I'm not still. I'm more sensory than cerebral when I smoke weed. So it makes certain tasks like I can't focus on them. That's what it is. That's what it is. And so I do a lot of chores and I just try to do things to occupy myself and keep myself busy. I try to stay out of sight, out of mind when it comes to those things. I think I'd love to start going to church again. I do have my dog attached to my hip. My dog really helps me, I must say, but it makes certain other things hard to attain, like, a 9 to 5 job or um, you know, it's hard. I just don't like leaving him, especially now that I'm trying to change his diet. And I'm worried that actually, if I'm not here, he will get that Costco dog food. He will, because the other dog eats it. And I know that the other dog won't finish it all. And then Shanda will immediately go and eat it, not understanding that that's the culprit behind his yeast infections, his yeast growth. Hi. Can I give Shanda a dog treat? What kind of dog treat? The ones that are in the box. I'm sorry, no. Here, I'll give him. Is he hungry again? He's okay. Okay, let's go feed my boy. Let's go feed my boy. Okay, I'm live streaming by the way, but I'm gonna give him something else because I don't think those are good for him. I think they're made of the same type of thing. Man, I made him such a big meal, but maybe he's not used to this new diet. Getting hungry, kiddo? Okay, let's get you something. Let's get you a little snack, okay? You a little snacky snack. Just don't tell when you want Shadow. We gotta be sneaky. I'll put you guys over here so that you guys can stare at the cat. I'll make Shando something to eat. Ryan, he must be hungry. I'm stop reading my post my truck because news has been going away. His app has been going away. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Doesn't he? And it's only been like 4 or 5 days. It's unbelievable. So so do you? And for sure. Gosh, I don't know. Okay, let me give you something. This is such good. See where your book. See you later, love you. Okay, we're gonna make this for my boy. I can put your nose in here, okay? Just don't. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Stick them for you for my boy. We got to get some of those and drop them because we're running all out of stuff. But you get a good Rachel here. It's a big dog. I don't think one beef patty or a pile of rice and carrots and egg isn't one egg was enough. I oh, there it is. Okay, what else should I get for bacon? And my brother makes really good quesadillas. Ooh, with rice and everything. Nice. No, you can't have that. I don't even know. I think you might be allergic to dairy or something too. Yes. Oh, you get your, get your little handful of rice, and I'll crack an egg in there. I'll stir that up for you. Okay, that's gonna be it, baby. Okay. Making real small eggshells for my boy here. Stop me already, but you're able to eat the dog food, and if I were to feed you guys both this, then I might get in trouble because I'm kind of using the family food for now because I ran out. This more reused up all the food I bought for him with my own money. So I'm trying to be careful. Well, also trying to feed him enough. He's so big, so it probably needs a little. And he has a propensity to put on a lot of weight too, to the point where he gets a little slightly overweight. So I do have to be careful there too. I think that's pretty good right there, especially since. I mean, here you go, Art. Have a piece of chicken, baby. Okay, you let Chan already have a bite. I have one more bite. There you go. And Chan will have this. I'm sure you've already eaten, Rudy. Oh, every time the other dog's hungry, he like bashes the bowl with his paw, like, give me food now. And she every time Shando's hungry, he's just like, oh, oh, oh. Only heard him do that once though, and it's only been as I've been trying to switch his diet around. I'm trying to determine what an appropriate amount for him is. What I can feed him, what I can't. At least his skin's looking better though. He's not miserable with the yeast. Mm, mm. See, see, Shannon, the best time for the other dog to eat dinner is when we're just chilling in our room with the door closed, and that way you don't have out of sight, out of mind. You won't have to watch Artie being able to eat things that you can't. Hi, hi, hi. The cat and the dog, they are friends. Yeah, Shando's friends with the cats around here, especially Winston. Shando gets along with Winston. In fact, I have some photos of Shando being a when he was around the same size as the cat, and they were cuddling together like yin and yang in the bed, and it's just such a cute photo. I might have that photo on my Instagram actually. He's a cute boy. Okay, buddy, I think you've had enough. I'm gonna go chill now. You need to go potty first? Wanna go do that? Do that? Alright, I'm gonna save him the last banana because I'm bad to the bone. Bananas are good for dogs. I that's what I was doing in there. Remember, I was making a little grocery list to go shopping for his diet. Beets. I'll get beets. I'll get spinach. I'll get blueberries. I'll get yams. Those will be his vegetables and broccoli. And I'll get him. We have rice, and I'll get some chicken hearts. I'll get some meat. By on sale, and make sure that it's yeah, buddy, go, go, good boy. Um, just put everything into a pot and put it all into Ziploc bag, divide it all up into Ziploc bags, and portion it out accordingly every day. I'll try to make it so that each pot of food I make will last at least a week. And I'll hope that no one steals that shit and gives it to the other dog because I'd be really pissed off because that dog has a healthy coat even with the Costco food, and I can't afford that. Shando's a big dog. That's like trying to feed two regular sized dogs almost, it is what it is. Oh, and I mix a little peanut butter in his food too, just to sort of extend it, add a little more protein, healthy fats and calories to it. But he needs to lose a little bit of weight. I'm just being a little careful. I think he's good now though. Yeah, that was a good snack right there. That was in that was almost a meal. I could never do a backflip, dude. I couldn't even do a cartwheel when I was a kid. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Would you like some peanut butter, Artie? How about some peanut butter, buddy? Peanut butter, dog. Would you like some peanut butter? I'll give you some peanut butter, Artie. Peanut butter. I'll give Chandler a little bit too. You guys can each have the rest of what's in here. Here you go. That's for you. Well, good boy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Another thing I love about Asmongold, he made me feel better about being a bit of a disorganized slob. Well, I mean, I clean a lot. It just gets messed up real fast. I'm not the only one who lives here. Some people seem to make that mistake of thinking that this is my house. It ain't. It ain't. I really do my best. Oh, baby. Drink some water. Shando, drink your waters. Yay, yo, baby. Okay, let's get him a little peanut butter too. I'll give you the jar, okay, Artie, and we'll give Shando a spoon here. 'Cause I don't want you to feel left out. Here you go, Art. Wait, watch this, watch this, watch this, guy. Here you go, Artie. Now you. Pima bubblers. Pima bubblers. Wow. Pima blubber.
So cute, so big, so big. Pima bubble. Is that good? That Pima bubble got a big chest. Yes, you have that Pima bubble. There's, there's Pima bubbles. That good? Pima bubble. Look at that face. Look at that face. Yeah, you can't be hungry after all that, baby. You're good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you get all that. You get all that, okay? Get all that peanut butter. Make sure you get every single last drops. Peanut butter. Mm, you cutie. Man, that peanut butter's pretty stubborn, isn't it? It might hurt your. I don't want you to hurt the roof of your mouth on that metal spoon, though. Did we get the whole? Did we get all of it off the back? There's a little bit more there. It's like a lollipop. It's like a doggy pop. Is that a doggy pop? You know, International Dogs Day exists and it takes place on August 26th. So come that very day, Dogs Day, All Dogs Day, Shando, I'm going to make him a cake. I'm going to make him a peanut butter cake with other things. I'm not sure exactly what I'll put in a dog cake, but I could look that up. It'd be fun. Make it a healthy dog cake he'd love. Oh, hi. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Did I? I hope that I didn't mute it for too long there. Shando's a good boy, and he can't say he's hungry anymore because he's definitely had enough food now. Yeah. Okay, let me write down his grocery list. That's gonna be fun. So, okay, so I like to categorize things so that I don't have to run around the whole store and just keep, I just categorize things: produce, meat, that sort of thing. So, go to produce first. Beets, broccoli. I like beets and broccoli, so I'll get extra of that. Spinach. And what other vegetables are good for dogs? Beets, broccoli, spinach, and yams. Okay. And as far as let me just look this up. Oh, frozen blueberries. I like to have that in my cream of wheat too. So I might get extra of those. Some for Shando and some for me and everyone else. Smoothies and stuff. Oops, bananas, bananas. I'll get some bananas. They're nice and cheap. No, they're not in the same section as the blueberries, frozen blueberries, but it's okay. Let me see. Let me look up what Shando's or dog what Whole Foods are good for dogs. Because I mean, I'm sure. Oops, I know a lot of good ones, but I want to make sure we get him something substantial. Gosh, okay. I don't have much money for that, but I will. Let's see. Oh, chicken.
Lean meats, fruits, and vegetables make excellent nutrient dense treats for dietary supplement. However, they must be served plain, unseasoned, and in moderation to prevent digestive upset and toxicity. Let's see, feeding fresh whole foods. 19 healthy, safe foods you can feed your dog. Okay. Apples, okay. We'll get some apples. Apples. Get a few apples. I mean, they're kind of heavy to carry home, and but yeah, I'll get a few apples. Um, watermelon. Not carrying a watermelon home. I walk. I walk. That's why I got muscles. I don't know. It probably is the reason. Cucumber's good. Okay, get some cucumber. Okay, celery. I didn't know that we have celery, so I'll keep that in mind. I'll put that in his breakfast tomorrow. Put some celery and carrots both. Gosh, we're running out of peanut butter, aren't we? Uh, like some peanut butter. Pumpkin, yeah, canned pumpkin. That's a good one. He loves canned pumpkin too. Canned pumpkin, white rice. That's interesting. They say white rice specifically. They don't say brown rice, which is interesting because the Costco dog food's made with brown rice. And there are a couple things in that dog food which, according to my research, apparently they're not good for dogs. Green beans are good for dogs, though. Get some green beans. Um, plain yogurt, huh? I mean, I know some people who are lactose intolerant can have yogurt because of the probiotics, right? Kind of um counters the lactose, doesn't it? I'm not sure. Um, can lactose intolerant people eat yogurt? And I know some of them can like eat certain cheeses like Parmesan. Yes, many lactose intolerant people can eat yogurt comfortably because its fermented yogurt contains live bacterial cultures that produce their own lactase, the enzyme needed to break down lactose. Okay, okay, okay. And I do need yogurt, so I'll write down yogurt. Yogurt. And it probably has to be fat free for him. Plain yogurt, of course. I always get plain yogurt. I like the faya stuff. So look at that. We have white rice. Um, I'll get some eggs that are especially for him. Just don't want to get into any trouble. I didn't know dogs could have mangoes. Okay, I'm gonna get some chicken hearts and gizzards. Um, how about yeah, just how about white fish? You know, some a cheap fish like sardines are good for him, packed in water, of course. Cauliflower. Didn't know cauliflower is good for him, but I could get that another time. I think I have enough vegetables on here for now. Um, yeah. So yeah, chicken hearts and gizzards, and I'll get him some beef, but I want to make sure we're getting it on a budget. Make sure I'm able to get him a substantial, well-rounded list of foods here. Sure, there are other things, but this is pretty good. Pretty good. I make sure the eggs are super good quality though, because I like to give him raw eggs. Um, Yeah. Stuff like green beans and all that, I cook on low. Beets, I cook. Broccoli, I cook. Right, broccoli doesn't need to be cooked as long as it's chopped up real small and then combined with all the other things like the meat and the eggs and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good. Peanut butter is there and all that. Peanut butter. Did I write down peanut butter? I'll put down peanut butter since we're all out. There we go. That's my grocery list for next time I go to the store here. Get that for my boy. Woo. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It's much appreciated. We can talk recovery. I'll engage with you now. Yeah, yeah. Hey, Lucian, how's it going? Yeah, sardines is good. My dog love it too. Yeah, yeah, it's one of Shando's favorites. If we're going somewhere and I say, "Hey, want some sardines?" His eyes light up. Yogurt is good for us lactose intolerant people. Yeah, yeah, that's what I heard. It, but I had to make sure. And I'll get some of that for Shando and me. I like that Fayette stuff. It almost tastes like clotted cream or something. It's so good. It doesn't have the super like sour taste or anything. It's just delicious. Mm, God, my hair's laying so flat on my head. It's okay. Um, why am I feeding him all of this? Because it's his diet. Because I'm making a grocery list so I can make a big like pot, combine a bunch of stuff, make him a huge pot of food, and then portion it out into Ziploc bags and save it in the freezer and the fridge so that, he always has good food. And also, I stopped feeding him that Kirkland Costco dog food because he is prone to yeast overgrowth. And now he had scabs all over his body and he had bald spots all over his body. Now there's scabs are disappearing like magic. The hair's growing back faster than I ever imagined it would. I just didn't expect that much success just by stopping that dog food. After being told a million times it was like really good dog food and then it'll be okay. It's probably something else. And I stopped feeding him that dog food and now he's doing better. He's doing better because I'm feeding him whole foods now. I just gotta, be careful about it, and just smart about portions and budget and all that. And that's doable. He's my baby. I want him to be healthy and happy. It's all worth it to me. And it certainly beats, him needing surgery because of years of bad gut health or something. Pay the farmer now or the doctor later, as I always say, as I vape. Raw eggs shouldn't be fed to dogs. Salmon. I feed them. That's why I said I only feed them the raw eggs that are cage free range chicken eggs. I never feed them the ones like factory hormone filled chickens ever if they're raw, especially. I always give them the good quality chicken eggs. And I've seen people feed their dogs good quality raw chicken eggs all the time without any issue. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. I could, I mean, at first I thought the same thing, and I would, I don't, you know, I, let me look it up again just to be absolutely certain. And dogs have raw, I'll just put raw egg in general. It is highly recommended that you avoid feeding your dog raw eggs. Oh, okay. Well, raw eggs are not inherently toxic, and some owners feed them as part of a raw diet. They pose significant health risks, including potential for salmonella. I also heard that salmonella in raw eggs is kind of rare. That's why people like lick raw cookie batter all the time and nothing happens. But it is possible. That's a thing. There's sliver of possibility for it. That's but it's way rarer to get it from raw eggs than say like raw chicken, you know? Let me see. Man, I've seen people feed their dogs raw chicken. I wouldn't do that. I don't see it that much, but yeah, I wouldn't do that. Like, how about okay, now those just raw eggs. How about free range raw eggs? Maybe I'll stop doing that actually. I'll probably start hard boiling his eggs and that way the shell is also boiled with all the germs leached hopefully out of the porous eggshell. And that way the eggshell's a lot cleaner for him too, you know? Let's see, yes, dogs can eat raw free range eggs. Okay, yeah, there we go. We have a different answer. And like I said, if I'm feeding raw eggs, it's only ever raw. It is only ever free range. So, yes, dogs can eat raw free range eggs, but opinions on their safety are mixed. While raw eggs provide excellent protein, healthy fats, and vitamins, veterinarians often warn about the risks of bacteria like salmonella and potential biotin deficiency from the egg whites. Oh, I didn't know about the latter part of that biotin deficiency from egg whites. That's strange because I always thought the eggs were full of biotin and good. When my hair was falling out a little bit, I was looking up foods that are good for hair, and that was one of the first things that came up. Eggs. That's probably coming from the yolk, though. They're specifying egg whites leach the biotin something, or create biotin deficiency. So high benefits, high nu- nutritive, nutritive nutritive, okay. Eggs are packed with amino acids, fatty acids, but yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably just the same thing. Com- Complete meal element, including the shell. Raw eggs provide a nearly perfect balance of calcium and phosphorus for strong bones. Risks and concerns: bacterial contamination. Raw eggs run the risk of carrying salmonella or E. coli, which can cause severe vomiting and diarrhea in dogs and can be transmitted to humans and dealing with raw food. Biotin deficiency. Raw egg whites contain an enzyme called avidin, which can block the absorption of biotin, the vitamin needed for a healthy coat and skin. Feeding the whole egg, yolk, oops, and white together helps mitigate this, as the yolk is very rich in biotin. Yeah, yeah. Safe feeding guidelines, portion control. Eggs are calorie dense. Treats should only make up to 10% of your dog's full calorie intake. Um, Quarter of an egg per week for small dogs, up to one whole egg a day. A day for very large dogs. Wow, that's quite a gap there. One quarter of an egg per week for small dogs, and one whole egg per day for large dogs like Shan. And I do give them one egg per day, sure. Once in a blue moon, give them two if they're low on food, right? And I want to have a little more protein, but yeah, okay, one egg per day it is. If feeding raw, always opt for high quality, properly handled, and fresh eggs, which is what I do. Consult your vet. Cooking eggs hard boiled or scrambled completely eliminates bacterial risk and deactivates the avidin enzyme, making them generally safer for dogs. Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna cook it from now on. I'm gonna do that. Absolutely. I'm gonna start boiling his eggs from now on. I don't want anyone to be offended, but I feel like I've landed in a canine cooking TV show. No, I thought that was funny. No, we talk about all kinds of things on this channel, man. We talk about recovery from addiction, we talk about art, we talk about video games, we talk about books and just anything that goes, my dog, cooking, tangent, pretty much. Sc- Scrambled eggs, okay, that's a good idea too. Yeah, scrambled eggs. I'll scramble them in little bit of beef tallow. I think you'd love that. And I like your hair. Thank you, Genevieve. And oh man, I like your name. I used to say I wanted to name my first daughter Genevieve. I like the name Genevieve and I like the name Madeline. Well, thank you, Mitchell. I love you too. Thanks for giving me the lowdown. Oh, absolutely.
It's 11:14 here in California. I am already in bed watching YouTube lives. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. here. Is it really 11:14 in California? I thought it would be around the same time it is here. And I live on the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, it's 10:18 over here. And God bless you all. God bless you too, Robbie. It's good to see you here. It depends on the country of origin of the egg. Some places eggs are safer. That doesn't surprise me. And I've seen it like in some I'm not sure if all European countries do this, but a lot of people just leave their eggs out on the counter and they don't even refrigerate them. And I think that may only apply to like farm fresh eggs. Like literally you have a chicken coop and all that. Maybe that's the only place that but if it's store bought eggs for some reason they gotta be in the fridge. But yeah, just to be safe, and since Shanna's got a sensitive tummy, I'm gonna scramble them or boil them from now on. Yeah, thank you for that. Thank for to the person who, you know, warned me of the salmonella risk. I didn't think it was that like serious when it comes to farm fresh free range eggs, and it isn't as serious, but it's still a risk. And there's also that enzyme that in egg whites apparently that depletes biotin. So we don't want that. Chando needs good skin health. Eggshells are also dried, baked to destroy possible salmonella. Yeah, and eggshells should be crushed into a powder to prevent digestive tract damage. Oh, that's also a good idea. I have a mortar and pestle that I use to grind up those eggshells most of the time. Yo, I saw this one person just give actually it was 10 fish reviews. This guy, he has his border collie, he like gives reviews on 10 fish and it's one of my favorite channels. I love it so much. It's like ASMR for me and I love 10 fish. And his dog just sits there so well behaved watching it, just and he always gets a little sample at the end and smart dog. There was one time the dog was having like a birthday celebration or something, and he had his own fancy, well arranged, beautifully arranged plate, and he cracks a raw egg on top of it. This is in like England, right? This is Europe, so I don't know. Maybe they have their own chickens or whoever they are, but this guy gives him the shell just without even crumbling it up, just like flat out, just a shell, you know, almost a fully intact, just half cracked shell. And the dogs just eats it like, like it's just natural for him. But yeah, I can see that being a risk too, because some dogs don't chew enough. And you can't really do anything about that. Dog's gonna eat how a dog's gonna eat. And there are some tactics you can employ to make your dog chew a little more or take their time. You have those little labyrinth bowls, right? And stuff like that. But that didn't I got Shandor a bowl like that, it didn't work. And I mean, he's a little more delicate about his food, but the other dog just inhales it. Ooh, like that. And yeah, I mean, I can totally see the eggshell wreaking havoc on his intestines. The door, she's paying for bed almost, honey. You had a good snack, you went potty. Salmonella gets on the eggshells, not the eggs. Well, I didn't know that. I'll have to look that up. I thought it was both. Mm. Hey Mitchell, I don't have any of my mods here right now. It's usually Heather's here. It's usually Raid the Fairy hasn't been here as much as usual because he's busy. I really like Raid the Fairy too. And there's Kilroy. There's I'm not sure if Pastry's a mod. I know he's a member. And I have this other mod. I'm not thinking of it at the top. I'm like, Justin. I have too many mods right now, and I don't have enough views and engagement to accommodate all that.
And I need to know you a little or get a sense of like, your engagement here and a little bit more because I've been a little rash about selecting mods. One time I was like, someone just asked, and I was like, okay, without even really getting to know them on my channel, and they tried to sabotage my channel, and they got really creepy. I gave them that power, and they tried to say, I'm not saying you do that, but my point is, I have to be careful and give it some time and get to know you a little bit more, and then I may just very well select you as a mod, man. I'll just get to know you a little bit more as a visitor of my channel, and yeah, it's just I don't, yeah, don't want to seem like being mean or anything, or I hate saying no, and I appreciate you being, here on my channel, but I'll give a little time before I select more mods, and yeah, could cut. I'll reconsider. We'll consider that a little later. Thank you. I appreciate your understanding, man. Not not so lucky with the piss. I've got some fluid on the back of my brain, and I'm divorced. Oof. I'm sorry, man. I mean, that sucks. What does water on the back of the brain mean? Is that like a condition? I've heard the term water on the brain, which is when someone has had so much to drink over the years that they basically become partially brain damaged. But I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I just reached 120 subs from doing daily live stream. Is can I get a shout out? I, well, I mean, usually people don't like it when other people come on their live streams or their stuff, their program or whatever, and start promoting themselves and trying to draw my audience away from me and over to you. I mean, that's something a lot of people wouldn't like. But yeah, I mean, I wish you the best. I wish you success, man. I hope that, I hope that you do well. But are you here to promote my channel? Are you here to help me and promote my channel as I'm here right now? Or are you here to draw people over to your channel and, divert people away from my channel over to you? Because that happens a lot. That's right. Yeah. Oh, and you're not offending me at all, man. I'm just curious. I'm just curious because some people might just not really know any better, or they might have good intentions or might have bad intentions, but most of the time that's a big no-no. That's a faux pas. That's a little something that most like most people in my situation wouldn't like that sort of thing. I actually think I've been pretty understanding and reasonable and nice about it. Maybe even a little too nice. Cause yeah, I mean, you don't just go to someone else's platform and start saying, "Hey, everybody, round up! Hear ye! Stop listening." I know you're not saying that, but there are people who do kind of act that way. Like, stop listening to this person. Come over to my channel. It's a lot better and cooler over here. Like, I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm saying like there are a lot of people who kind of give off that kind of, there are people who do that sort of thing. Maybe not to that like blatant extent, but there are people who go over to other people's platforms just solely to self promote, and this is not the place to do it. Why would you do it here? I hope people are coming to my channel to help promote my channel. You know, not that's just there's something about that rubs me the wrong way. Even though I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to be understanding. Like
everyone's different. Your intentions might be well intended, meant. I don't know. How's that art coming along? It's going well. Jack Darby, would you guys like to see my work in progress so far? It's a portrait of Christ. Here, let me show you. I'm wait for it to dry there. See how that feels there. I might be able to work on it in a day. Maybe I'll work on it tomorrow. Actually, let me see how wet. That's still a little bit wet. The halo. I might want to work on that in a couple days or so. But here it is so far, guys. That's what it is so far now. I just want you to see the details so far. There are some touches that I'm gonna apply more touches. I'm gonna add gold incandescent paint to the halo and the goblet. I'm going to go over the goblet again just to make it so that just looks uh, more geometric. And I'm loving I'm just loving how his face is turning out too. More detail around the eyes to give them a little more depth and a little more reflection. Um uh I'm liking the way the clothes are looking very much so. I don't think I'm gonna really change that. I'm really liking the brush strokes and everything right there. Let me get my little light and shine it on there a little better so you could see some of the textures here, you know? Um, let's see here. Just like just trying to give you guys a good view of the textures, but it's difficult. And the fact got no lighting in here, that's why. This is the only lighting I have right here. There you go. Kinda like that. Hand needs a little work. This hand maybe. Hand's actually starting to look really good. But yeah, I'm gonna add a little more darkness there just to make the fingers pop a little more. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's it so far, so good. So far, so good. Loving a lot of these elements here. And the textures are very divine. I cannot like I want you guys to see the all the different colors and textures in the face too, I'm not sure how well you guys see all that. It's different. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. I'm just really happy that even though I did not use any reference photos, say for like studying a few paintings of Jesus. And then I went right to work on my own thing, my own composition, my own perspective of how I imagine Christ to look. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm just really happy that I managed to capture a certain like compassion and forgiveness in his expression, which is just 100% who Jesus is, compassion and forgiveness. So I'm really happy about that. Is the bread standing out more from the color of the shirt? Yeah, yeah. I mean the robes, the white robes have different shades. Like there's a little bit of blue, there's a little bit of gold, kind of reflecting the colors around him. And then the Eucharist is gonna be like almost snow white. It will, however, be illuminated with a golden glow when I'm finished with it, and there will be a cross in the middle. So that's not even finished, you know. And the goblet will have like it'll look like there's engraving in it, in like the stem and around the rim, even maybe. And yeah, I mean I'm gonna also accentuate the thorns. I'm gonna add thorns. I've already added like the branches to the thorns around the crown. And now I'm gonna add the thorns. I'm gonna be very meticulous about that part, or punctilious about that part. And oh, bedtime, baby. Okay, I'll open the door. We can go. Read some Bible verses before we end it. On that note, you guys like to see a portrait of my best friend? It's oil on panel. I also do watercolors, by the way. This is my best friend Adrian. Did this one in 2017. Oil on panel. It's one of my favorite paintings. I show you guys this one a lot, so it is one of my favorites, and that's why I have it on my wall. One of my favorites. And here, let me show you another one. This one, I painted this one from a photo I took really fast when I saw two crippled veterans shaking hands at the intersection downtown. They were sitting in their wheelchair. One guy had two dogs sleeping next to him, an amputee, and someone else in a wheelchair came up to him and they shook hands and were so happy and glowing like they were old friends that met after a long time of not seeing each other for a while. I just like whipped out my camera, snapped, because I thought that was so beautiful. And just everything about it, the composition, the triangular composition, everything behind them. And I'll show you guys. I have it right here. I turned that photo into a oil painting. And you can find it on my Instagram too. It's a black and white photo. But here's the painting, guys. It's one of my favorite paintings. There. There, see the detail. Let me put the light on it a little better there. Yeah, see a little close up there, maybe. Yeah. Some of the dogs. Trees in the background. I'm loving that one. It's a relatively larger one. It's pretty big. Hard for me to paint large paintings like this right now because I don't have much room around here. Painted this when I had my own apartment. Oh, another one over here. Today. Oh, oh. Yes. Some 15 more. That's it. Baby. Yeah. Here's a oil painting of someone I know. I don't know. This is a pretty it's hard for me to get good lighting on this one. There we go. Here. See if I can give you guys better lighting there. It's hard for me to see what you guys are seeing though. Yeah. There's one. Let me show you. Show you. Here. So I sold these ones to my brothers a series. Actually, I made a series of 5. Don't know where the 5th one is, but here's he has it somewhere. Here's Chopin watercolor. Beethoven. See one? Yeah. Beethoven. Johann Sebastian Bach. And Mozart. It was a little while back. Okay. 2019. Uh, so weird. I need to organize. I need to organize this. Recycle out all this stuff. Okay, that's it. Lovely. Thank you, Dorian. Lovely story and beautiful painting. Oh, thank you. Wow, T, thank you. Very talented. Thank you, Jack Darby. Daisy Red. And how can we bring the light back in 2026? Just try to be positive. No more doom and gloom. You can carry it like a load or you can dance through it. That's how I see it. It's what my best friend used to say. And he had it rougher than most anyone I know. His apartment lit on fire and he fell out of it because someone was playing around and being stupid. It wasn't his fault, the fire. It was an apartment complex. He fell out several stories, broke his spine, broke his wrist, broke a few other things. He was dealing with a lot of he had a bit of a record with the drugs and he had an alias and all that. He gave his real name so he wasn't able to get any you know, uh ID and fix his get become a legal citizen and all that, because he was a felon, I guess. And I don't know, there's a bunch of weird things that surround that whole issue that I don't even really understand. I always thought there's got to be a way, right? There's got to be a way for you to be able to get your ID, get something settled up. But just for some reason, he said, "Oh no, he tried. He really tried, and he did everything he could do, but." There was always a barrier. There was always a blockade. And so he had to deal with that. So he was homeless for 20 years since that. He lived in a bread truck for a little while as he was working for a newspaper as a copyright proofreader. He was a graphic designer before that. And before that, he was at one point, he was a professor in fine art printmaking. Anyway, I mean, he had a great artistic sensibility and encouraged me to um, pursue my art. Said I had potential for greatness, but that I needed practice technically. So he inspired me to go to college and gain more connections and uh, technical precision, assuredness with more assuredness with my stroke. So when you lived in this sorry, when you lived in this bread truck, he had a propane tank under the table, and it was a bitter cold Christmas Eve night. And he fell asleep on his table as he was working. And he suddenly wakes up to it being bitter cold. Propane tank is off. There's about a couple inches of liquid on the ground. And before he can really come to and just sort of understand what's going on, he hears this whoosh of blue light and he gets blown out of that bread truck. I don't know how many, like 10 feet or so. And he's wrapped up in a blanket at the time and he's rolling around as this blanket's just it's enveloped in this weird glow, this blue fire, but it's not like flames. It's like this kind of glow of fire around him that's bluish. You know what I mean? You've seen that sort of thing. And he's rolling around. He's living right next to this bar in his bread truck and with a bunch of other people in there. And there's a couple of others in like an RV or something. And this meth head comes up to him. He's like, "Oh my god!" Tweaking out over him. He's just like, call an ambulance or something. Get someone to help me. And this guy just tweaking out. He goes into his fucking bread truck and steals his shit. And all he had, that was all he had left. All he had was his silver jewelry, a wonderful guitar, because he was also in a band. He was a musician. Stole his guitar, stole everything else he had, and when he was also walked to the hospital eventually, he's not paying attention to his stuff gets stolen at the time, really. He's just like, his hair's burnt off, man, everything, his eyebrows, everything. And so, like, you wouldn't even know it. Well, if he's, I mean, there were a few indicators, of course, that he had been in a burn accident for sure. Like the fact that his voice was fried up. He used to have a melodic voice, and he sounded like Treebeard would sound if Treebeard smoked 100 years of cigarettes. But there was a certain warmth and beauty in that voice as it told stories, and there was love and wisdom and understanding behind that voice that I just thought was so beautiful since the moment I became friends with him, since I heard him speak. Like I wanted to hear him speak more. It was a beautiful voice. And but it was because of that propane tank explosion. He lost his voice. And there was a certain sadness whenever he would say that he lost his voice. So like when he was at the hospital with this meth head, just blah, 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 and he's just like, looking the way he does, all the staff are treating him like he's like a meth head or something, not someone who needs dire help because he's just been in an explosion. So that happened, and once he finally got the help, he did get the help eventually, and the meth head went away, and okay, that's when the meth head went over to his truck and stole all the stuff. That's when that happened. That's probably what happened. And he went over and noticed that all his stuff had been stolen. Oh, I remember. He said that while he was on the rolling around the ground begging for help, this meth head was just going blah, 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 and then he's like he's going back and forth, pacing around. He's looking at him on the ground, burning to death, and then in the meantime, he's going over and peeking into that truck, and then he's going back and he's like, take me to the doctor. He eventually does take him to a doctor, but then as soon as the doc or nurses tell him to go away, the method that is, and they take Adrian under their care, he immediately, of course, goes over and steals all his stuff. That's what got timeline there and all mixed up. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. And so he didn't have anything. He was basically homeless. And I worked at that cafe when I met him. I worked there for 10 years. And during the last like 4 years of his life or so, um, I asked, well, for one thing, around the time I first met him, I let him live in student housing with me for a little bit until I couldn't live there anymore, maybe 2 years. And then after that, um, I asked, I was really fretting over him having to be on the street when he's an old man. And so my boss, who was really, really respected me in a lot of ways. There's some ways he didn't, and that he lied to me a few times. But anyway, well, that's a different story. But yeah, he had issues, man. It was more like a means to an end, getting that cafe to keep going because it was kind of sketchy and the way it was being run. But just lots of dust. Shush. Anyway, so he let my best friend, however, sleep in that, live in that basement pretty much. And that was really nice. So at least he didn't have to pass away on the street. He could be treated like a human being and loved. And I held a memorial for him right there. Lots of people came. For him. Yeah, he was my best friend. My favorite painting is Vermeer's Girl with the Pearl Earring. Oh, that's a beautiful one, John.
Magnificent. That is a magnificent one. I also like Vermeer's painting The Milkmaid. I actually did a study of that one. I did a little watercolor study of The Milkmaid. I like that one a lot too. I think I might like the pearl earring more actually. That's a really beautiful one. What advice did he give to you? Sorry, I was distracted. You're okay, Daisy. He always told me you can carry it like a load or you can dance through it, despite going through all that hardship. You can carry it like a load or you can dance through it, you know? And that's true. He also said that he will never be, he will not never let life make him hardened. He will never succumb to cynicism. His spirit was always intact. He always had a bright spirit, no matter what happened to him. His eyes were full of just love and spirit and so many stories, man. Like there was a humor and laughter in his eyes, but it was so sincere. It was like it's hard to explain, but it was there his eyes were the most beautiful eyes I'd ever seen in my life. He had a beautiful smile. He's he was a good friend. Oh yeah, the milkmaid is great too. I love the interior, so austere. Absolutely. Yeah, I love those paintings. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, he told me a lot of stories. In fact, he was in the German army when he was younger and he became a conscientious objector and went to solitary confinement because he kind of just left at one point when he was like 20 or so, 19 or 20, and he just left without permission. He went to solitary confinement for that sort of thing for like a long time, but his mother would send him books when he was in prison, and he always said that saved his life. He spoke so well of his mother, who was a librarian, and that apartment that burnt down, it had all his mother's books from like the 1700s. He had artworks by the likes of Beardsley and Chagall, artworks that would probably sell at auction for like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And he had like motorcycle and uh, stereo and computer, a bunch of monitor equipment, this expensive good shit, man. It's all of it. He was a graphic designer. All of it burnt to the ground, and then it just ruined. It ruined his life, but he didn't let it. He didn't let it uh, take away from him, from his humanity and who he really was. He was able to realize that those are just things, those are just objects. They don't define me, and neither does this tragedy. I can't do anything about the past. All I can do is keep moving forward and keep moving on. Just keep on trucking. And also, he introduced me to Art Crumb. He introduced me to Art Crumb, and he's like my favorite cartoonist now. Like, comic cartoonist. One of them. Bad things happen to good people, yeah. That does seem to happen a lot. I want to ask you, it's okay. You can choose not to answer. Are you a liberal or a Republican? I'm not like far on either spectrum, I'm not like hard this or hard that. I don't like labels, man, but most of my views align and lean more conservative. I don't like how if I say that, there are some people who will just automatically assume that, oh, I must be like racist or this or that. And that's just like absolutely not. Completely the opposite, you know?
Anyway, yeah, I mean, people get really heated up when I talk about that sort of thing, you know. And yeah, it's a lot of people are polarized these days. I just wish it wasn't the case, but I hope that Marco Rubio wins the next race. I like Marco Rubio a lot. JD Vance is pretty good, but I like Marco Rubio. Mm, yeah. All right. So on that note, I guess. Oh boy. I hope you don't dislike me now. But it is what it is, right? I think we need to be more understanding and listen to people and not just make assumptions about what other people think and believe. It's not black and white. And there have been a lot of lies being spread by the media. We're not Hitler. We're not Nazis. We're not this and that. You know, and there are good Democrats out there too. You know, good liberals. I mean, you know, just living their lives and there are good and bad people on both sides, is my opinion, right? Um, I don't see it as black and white. Things are more nuanced, things are more complex. But there are people who do think in black and white terms, and a lot of them these days. Whereas, like, if you don't agree with us, that means you're against us, and we're like, they want to be at war. And anytime you express your opinion on something as someone who leans or is conservative, a lot of people who are far left, and you have a lot of that in Portland. Um, they slander you. I mean, I'm speaking from experience, and I've seen other people have to endure that. I was ostracized by a family member, told I was a danger to my family, and I haven't been seeing much of the violence happening on the conservative side. That's for sure. Lately, it's mostly been on the far left. I'm not saying liberals in general. I'm saying the far left, the radicalized left, and that's concerning. They're making a lot of Democrats embarrassed and ashamed to say that they're Democrats now. Like Bill Maher, I love Bill Maher. Bill Maher's my kind of Democrat, you know. When I was a Democrat for 10 years, that's the kind of Democrat I was, you know. I was kind of like Bill Maher in my views, you know, and all that stuff. And I still really like Bill Maher. In fact, I love how he's humble. He can admit when he's wrong. I used to think he was a bit arrogant, but actually, I think he's kind of humble and he can admit when he's wrong. I like Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan's a Democrat, more of a, um, old school Democrat, which I hate that you have to call it that now, but I guess you do because everything's just becoming so radicalized. And if you're not with us, you're against us kind of cult mentality that's going on. It's behaving like a religion, you know, like a religion that's very uh, discriminatory, discriminating. I mean, you're a very kind person. Thank you. I feel like to judge someone, we gotta really know the person on a deep level. I agree. But that's the thing. That's human nature, man. And I do think it's like, whether it's subconscious or not, it's a survival mechanism that we judge everything around us, everyone around us. We make certain judgments, whether they're mild or severe, to determine a threat, you know? And we don't really need to do that most of the time, but whether it's subconscious or not, it's heavily ingrained into our DNA as well. We judge people when we don't know them, especially. Yeah. And some people, it's like with people they know, they think they know them more than they actually do. Especially like parents with their kids. Like parents often think they know everything about their kids to the point where like everything else is out of the question, right? They see them a certain way and um nothing else is on like nothing else makes sense to them. You know, like it's like they see you most of the time your parents are gonna see you as a kid your whole life. old Democrats were against illegal immigrants. Exactly, exactly. Now these days they try to gaslight us and they go around saying that we want all immigrants out of this country, which is a lie. We welcome immigrants with open arms, but if you come here illegally, then you need to go back to your own country and fill out the papers and come here legally the respectful and right way. There's nothing hateful about that at all. That's what most countries employ. Absolutely. It's kind of like, oh, but they're good people just trying to escape violence and live their lives. Yeah, but they're coming here illegally. They're still breaking the law and they're opening the floodgates for them to drop their criminals on us, which they have done. And the reason why they want the liberals want or far left wants illegal immigration is because it advances their voter base. You know, they get free this, free that, free everything. We pay taxes for them. Meanwhile, we're all struggling with that, like homeless, with the housing situation, all that. They're all getting free housing in New York City, and you know, like we're having to pay for all that. And the reason is because all those people are going to vote for the Democrats. That's what they want. That's the whole reason that they're allowing for this. They're allowing for the scamming and in places like California, all those fake hostels and daycare centers that Nick Shirley exposed, even though it was, people knew, some people knew about it, but Nick Shirley really exposed all that. Like, just here it is, right here. I'm proving to you that this is happening here. There was a lot of denial, and he proved to a lot of people that this is happening. We've been getting scammed, lied to, like they complain about Trump, but look at what Gavin Newsom has done to California. He promised to fix the homeless problem, but he's made it way worse. He's tried to do the whole Stop Nick Shirley Act in order to um, destroy, to abolish independent journalism. That won't fly. This is America. This is free speech country, bitch. And so you know what? He's done a lot of things, not just that, man. He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of people, and for the ruin of many lives. You know? Hope Spencer wins. Hope Spencer Pratt wins. He's pretty cool. And yeah, I mean it is what it is. I guess more people are waking up to it. More people are starting to realize that this isn't right. More people are waking up and realizing that, hey, you know what? Maybe there's a lot of violence going on over on this side after all, and there's a lot of lies and deceit and slander, and the media is 99% or so owned by the far left, right? Yeah. Well, not everybody on the left is evil. I mean, I don't think that like Bill Maher or Piers Moore and people like that are evil. Like there are people on the left I think are okay, right? But people on the radical left, and I'm not saying everybody on the like right, especially like far right. I'm not like the way they say anytime you say you're a conservative, they accuse you of being a far right. Is just wrong. I think anyone far on either side is pretty bad, but it's the far left these past few years or so, causing the most violence and discord, if not straight up ending people, celebrating when Charlie Kirk gets shot, whining and being upset when Trump doesn't get hit. You know, that's evil. That's evil. Like, and they're like, if you're a woman, or if you're black, or if you're an LGBT community, if you're like gay or trans or whatever, if you say you're conservative, they act like you're a traitor. They act like you hate your own kind, which I think is disgusting. You should see how they treat Blair White. I love Blair White. I love Blair White. Blair White is a cool cat. Common sense, reasonable person. Yeah, they've been very violent lately. Very violent lately. And they tried to shut us down. And because Elon Musk has allowed for free discourse and free speech on Twitter or X, now we're able to, now we're seeing what's going on a lot more than before, because they'd hide a lot of that stuff. They hid a lot of that stuff before X became owned by Elon Musk, which is just crazy. I'm just tired of the lies. I'm tired of being told what I think and what I am just because I say I lean conservative and that Trump isn't wrong about this or that after all, and that these lies have been debunked. Doesn't it make you question? Doesn't it make you question why so many people hate this one man? And you have people like Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, fucking Bill Gates is evil. Um, I mean, they've done so many things. They don't Hillary Clinton. They don't even bother to go investigating into them. They just assume that Trump is, ooh, Trump, orange monster, bad, and they orange man bad, and then they just assign all these characteristics and names and crimes to him, saying that he's committed so many crimes. Like, no, well, the court let him go, man. They didn't charge him with anything. People get accused of stuff they never did because, you know, like he was in there for Stormy Daniels. Like, why are we wasting our time with Stormy Daniels? Like, who cares? I don't care. Like, honestly, I don't care if the president like cheats at some point in their life or whatever. It's more about what they're gonna do to help our country. It's their personal lives. I couldn't give less of a shit about. Not only that, but it's the past. It's not like he's doing that now. That's between him and Melania, and they seem to be getting along pretty damn well. Like they. I know the left wing media likes to make it look like they hate each other, but that's far from the case. Vogue won't even put Melania on any cover, and yet they probably had like Michelle a dozen times. I don't know. About a, I don't know. I don't care, but yeah, they certainly haven't had Melania on any Vogue cover, and we know why. They deceive a lot of people, man. And I know a lot of people are afraid of losing family and friends and all that kind of stuff. That's what I was afraid of when I was liberal and I was starting to question kind of like secretly. I had conservative friends and I would like secretly agree with them. I would never outright, make it look like I agreed with them in front of anyone because I was a coward and I didn't want to get fired or lose my friends, or that's what I was afraid of, you know? And after all, I did lose some friends and I did lose some family because I would rather not forfeit my integrity. I'd rather lose so-called friends, you know? I don't know, it is what it is. It's to be expected. It's par for the course these days. A lot of people in my situation deal with that. If not all of us, lose at least one person in our lives because someone just simply as soon as you say you even like agree with Trump on something, they think you're an evil person. Even if you say that there are some things that he's, about Trump that you disagree with, and they're still gonna say you're an evil person. I don't agree with how the Epstein files were handled, you know? I'm not like right or die with anyone. or anything unless it's God. I'm only ride or die with God and my dog and um I mean I get yeah, I mean Shando's just an innocent babe. I mean family can betray you, friends can betray you, right? Not that I assume it will happen or that I think it'll happen, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. And that's not just with me, that's just in general, you know? It's like humans are flawed. Yeah, I don't want to end up the way Cuba is, but a lot of people on the far left do. And they have no idea what the general population of Cuba are dealing with. It's like night and day with the elites in Cuba and the common man, common citizen. They have like basically no lights, no good water, no, you know, they have a ration of this and that, very limited rations. They're treated like cattle. They're not allowed to question the government or communism lest they disappear. Nick Shirley exposed all that very well. He, you know, he he almost got captured. He had, you know, he had someone start recording him when he was interviewing someone else about communism. Some woman comes around with a camera and starts recording him, tells some government uh tells some official, and then they're so situationally aware in this place. They're like, uh-oh, we've been tattled on. They're, oh no, man, we've been ratted on. So they run up over to their hotel as soon as they can, and just with you know their everybody else with them, and they start to plan out their escape. And then they realize that they've been informed that there are spies down in the lobby waiting to get to them. Like it was crazy, crazy shit. Mm, scary. I, but you know, the elites, they have fresh food, you know, lights. It looks like a palace where they are. That's some people like in New York want to live that way, apparently. It's crazy. Look at all the discord that's going on in New York, all the pandemonium. Some people literally do want that. Some of these people want a civil war. They want a civil war. Some of these people. I'm not saying all of them. Some of them do though. A lot of them. A lot of far leftists want civil war and chaos and death. You know, like I wouldn't even wish Bill Clinton death. As evil as I think he is. And yet they celebrate when Charlie Kirk was shot, even though he did nothing but express his honest views and respectfully invite and encourage young people to debate him. And he would always listen, never interrupted or cutted them or insulted them. And they always tried to provoke him. There was this one incident where Charlie Kirk is, you know, debating some young woman, and know what she does? She deliberately, deliberately does this. And she's like, "Yeah," like that. And her shirt is already low, but she's just like, like that. It was so obvious that this was on purpose. She flashed him her tata. She flashed him her nippy, and he did not divert his gaze from her eyes once. He stared into her eyes. He did not look down. He didn't look up. He didn't look to the side. He looked directly into her eyes. But you know, she was obviously trying to bait him. And that's what they do. That's what people on the radicalized left do. They try to get us like a gotcha. They try to gotcha us and make us try to make us look bad when we're not. That's what they want. That's evil. That's evil in my opinion. Shando, it's 11:13, babe. We're gonna go to bed pretty soon. Crack my back. Oh man. I want to show you. Okay. I mean, he did talk about taking guns away from trans on Shred on me. Let me look that up. Blair White has a lot of guns, and no one's taking her guns away. So I think there's a lot of misinformation there. I think I think he's thinking more about people who are severely mentally ill in general. He's not talking about just trans people. I sincerely doubt that, but I'll look it up because I don't know for sure. But I doubt it. I don't think anyone's taking Blair White's guns away. She's a real gun toting trans woman. I love Blair White. She's got pink guns too. She's cool. Oh, honey, that's fine. You Grandpa, you've had your dinner and a big and a second dinner and second bed, babe. Let me see. I haven't heard anything about that. In fact, that just sounds like something someone made up, but I'm gonna look it up. No, baby. Bedtime, honey bear. I'm gonna be ending the live stream pretty soon. Limit. Okay, and this is just an AI answer, okay? Let me see. Is this this is CNN. Fuck CNN. But see, I'll just tell you what CNN says, okay? CNN is full of shit, by the way. Anyway, the Trump administration and Justice Department have floated proposals to limit gun ownership for transgender Americans, but no blanket bans or confiscation orders have been officially enacted, and the efforts have faced stiff opposition from major gun rights groups. You know, he back in 2005, he had a gay marriage at Mar-a-Lago, and he's always been supportive of gay marriage, but people don't like to talk about that. And he's done more for the black community than any president in my lifetime, but people don't like to talk about that, do they? He made it so that penalties and punishments for abusing animals were more severe, but they don't care about that. And they don't want to defund the police. Know what they want to do? They want to be the police. They don't want to just defund the police. They want to be the police. When I say they, I don't mean all liberals. I don't mean all of them. I'm twisted. Don't get it twisted. But that's CNN. White House stuff. Yeah, well, yeah, right now he's targeting narco terrorists right now. That's what's important. I don't think he's focusing on trans people right now at all. I think he's focusing on narco terrorists and transnational gangs who like all over Europe with young white women are being gang raped by illegal immigrants all over the place. and they try to hide this stuff. But now that, free speech, thanks to Elon Musk, is allowed on social media, more and more people are seeing this, even though it's been going on probably for like 10 years or so now. And it's gotten worse and worse since Biden was in office. Um, and violent left wing extremists. Currently, we face three major types of terror groups: narco terrorists and transnational gangs, legacy Islamist terrorists, and violent left wing extremists, including anarchists and anti fascists, or Antifa. Antifa. That's what they would. They're the ones creating all the violence and spreading all the lies and brainwashing so many people. So the goals of their CT strategy, the mission of the counterterrorism structures of the US government is to identify those groups that have the intent and capability to plot attacks against Americans and then neutralize them. This mission can be broken down into three simple functions: identify terror actors and plots before they happen, cut off their arms, meaning their guns, funding, and recruiting streams, ultimately destroy established threat groups. This necessitates designation of cartels and transnational gangs as FTOs to make available additional intelligence authorities and deny and disrupt their financial streams and access to the United States. Taking necessary and specific actions in self defense to neutralize imminent threats to the United States. A series of similar high intensity but short campaigns against the five jihadist groups deemed by the CIA as the most dangerous and capable of external operations targeting the American homeland and the US citizens. This includes Al Qaeda and ISIS. Diplomatic, financial, cyber, and covert actions to undermine or deter inimical state actors from assisting designated FTOs, whether cartels, jihadists, or violent left wing radicals. And that's what I'm talking about: violent left wing radicals. Not all Democrats are like that. Like Piers Morgan, Bill Maher, and some others just aren't like that. As as the world's move, I think I could be wrong, but I think Buck Angel could also um be liberal, but he's on the side of Blair. He's good friends with Blair White. He's on the side of Blair White. He's not for like sterilizing children and all that. Um, as the world's most or in taking over women's sports and taking like over 900 of the trophies, right? Um, as the world's most powerful nation, our means to achieve these goals are tremendous, but not unlimited. We must therefore prioritize our targets and our operations against. Beyond the three categories of terrorist threats to the homeland, our counterterrorism strategy addresses five functional aspects of the current CT environment: new and evolving collaboration between nation states and threat groups such as cartels, new and deepening alliances between the far left and Islamists, i.e., the Red Green Alliance, new and evolving alliances between established terrorist groups, such as the collaboration between Al Shabaab and the Houthis, exploitation of new weapons like drones by cartels and jihadists, as well as the provision of these technologies to terrorists by state actors, namely Iran, China, and Russia. The remaining threat of terrorists acquiring and using nuclear, biological, or chemical weapons, President Trump has rightly labeled the single greatest threat to this world, which it is, which is why he had to disarm them, which is why he had to blow up their nuclear facilities. He did not target any civilians. The civilians of places like Iran do not want to live under that oppressive regime. They don't want their women treated that way. A lot of people, a lot of Iranians who live here, especially like legally, they don't, they just want to live like normal people and appreciate living in America and all that. But you have like these groups, these extremists, these terrorists who are like making them look bad and that's not right. We cannot be, putting everybody in the same box because of a small fraction of a population that's bad and evil, you know? Just this in the same sense, you in every group, in every like group of people, you'll have some bad ones, right? You'll have some bad groups, you'll have some bad sects, no matter what it is. You have some bad people in ICE who should be fired. You have some bad police officers who should be fired. That doesn't mean all police are bad. Just it's the fact that people don't seem to get that. Some people don't seem to get that. It's crazy to me. You know, there are good and bad people, and the bad people should be weeded out accordingly. They make life so much harder for good people who just want to live their lives. Yeah, okay, baby. Right? Just drop here. And I was like, anytime I express these opinions, there'll be a lot of people, like a lot of people on the far left. And I assume they're far left because the first thing they say to me, they don't come at me with any plausible arguments or rational argument, reasoning, nothing, no good counter argument for me to actually, be like, hey, you may have a point, because they are so obsessed. They don't care about anything but winning the argument. They don't listen to what you say. They only hear maybe one point that you've made, and they're just like, "Oh my gosh, you are just hateful. You're hate. You're fascist. You're this. You're that. You okay, bud? Oh, that just fell on the ground. You're okay." And until the switch almost fell on his tail. Um, yeah, and it's not right because like my viewpoints certainly do not come from a place of hate. But some of these people will say that, which is it's just wrong. It's lies. Mm, yeah, they want to shove like the topic of sexuality down children's throats, which I think is really, really creepy. Really, really just wrong in every way. Especially like LGBTQ sexuality. Like leave the kids out of this. Is all I ask. Leave the kids out of this. Leave the kids alone. Let them run around, play outside, and be kids. When I was fucking um even 12, I didn't think about that shit. I mean, I was homeschooled, but when I was 13, I certainly dreamed of Prince Charming. When I was actually no, when I was like 9 or 10, I did have a crush on this boy at church, but that was different. It was innocent. It was just a little girl crush. But now they want to like shove like sexuality down children's throats in schools and keep it from the parents. Sick. Just saying. It's true. Yeah, well, I don't think it's good to keep women as slaves. Just saying. Just saying. A lot of people don't think that's right. It should always be consensual no matter what it is. Women are treated like cattle in some places, and some people on the far left seem like they're perfectly okay with that. They want to implement Sharia law, some of these people. Gross. Anyway, getting late there, tangent. I know it's like 11:30. Okay, I was about to say I'm gonna end the live stream. Shando, no, it's bedtime. I'm not gonna get up a fourth time to let you in and out. I know what you're doing. I'm gonna end it though. Okay, thanks, guys. I hope you guys have a good night. Just let's try to think more, read more. Look at all different sides, delve deeper. Don't trust everything the media tells you. You know, it's not all black and white. If I am able to, you know, look inwardly and do my research and, think outside the box and have the courage to, if I have the courage to, you know, look from different viewpoints and come to different conclusions based off of what I've learned, then anyone can. And some people have. A lot of people have actually these days. People are waking. Some people are waking up. Thank God we have people like Nick Shirley. People like that save a lot of people. I think. Um, being critical of everything the media tells you. True words. Mm-hmm. Hey, shalom. Good night. Take care. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ganchi. Thank you, Alice. Thank you. Do a challenge for you, SB Gaming. What? Oh yeah, let's read one Bible verse though, okay? But this one though, because Shando wants Mama to cuddle. So we're gonna read one. But yeah, if you had it, what challenge do you want me to do for you, SB Gaming? Because I'm actually genuinely curious. I want to thank you from what for I want to thank you from you what I gotta do. The challenge is like tape your mouth and speak something. Y'all guess what you're saying. Oh, the challenge is like tape your mouth and speak something and we will guess what you're saying. It's a fun challenge. That does sound fun. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay. We'll do that once. Okay. We're gonna read the Bible first. I'm gonna read one verse and then we'll do that. Because I have tape. Okay. One second. Okay, we'll read Acts chapter 2, verses 17 down to 21. And in the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Yeah, and on my men servants and my maid servants in those days I will pour out my spirit, and they shall prophesy, and I will show wonders in the heaven above, and signs on the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the day of the Lord comes, the great and manifest day. And it shall be that whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Yes. Okay. We'll do that. One second. You know how to jump in the bed, big boy. You're big and strong. Okay, you're big and strong. You can do it by yourself. You see, he looks back at me because he will not jump up in the bed until I tell him he's big and smart and strong. I'm serious, guys. He will not jump up into that bed even when I'm up in that bed too, unless I baby him and tell him not baby him, but like, unless I encourage him and tell him he's big and smart. I have to tell him he's big and smart before he summons up enough confidence to jump up in the bed. He did that. You see how high that bed is? At my friend's house, he did the exact same thing, and the bed is like 2 inches off the floor. Maybe it's not that short, but it was pretty fucking short. Yeah, I mean, the bed was basically as high as the bed he was pretending to have a hard time with at my friend's house was as tall as the frame right there. It's like, what? Okay, let me get some sleep. No, that's an artist tapes. No, that's worse. Here it is. Here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's play a game before we end the stream. Stream. Please like and subscribe, guys. I know we're probably not gonna reach 200, which is actually a pretty good, place for me to end my stream is when I reach 200 likes, cause or more. But it'd be cool if I reached 250, 150 at least tonight. But I don't. I'm probably just gonna end the stream after this. So let's do it. Oh, thank you. Mm-mm. She needs it. She. Oh, yeah, I can fly onto the cloud. Never be fast. It gets easier and easier. It gets easier and easier. Like the wetter it gets. Let's start over. I don't know if he's. I don't know if you heard me, bruh, bruh. Try that again. This is awesome. Oh, mm-mm. Oh, so you gotta cover it twice. Oh, no. Oh, 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 thank you. Oh, 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 thank you. I really appreciate you guys. I love you. I hope you have a good night. And I don't really little. If you want, if you want the easy one, I found this for you guys. I want to hold it for you guys. I think you understood exactly what I said there. Because I understand myself. That's the gelatin to go. I believe that was process. Down, down. Smell the straw. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, see now there's air coming out of there. Yes, it's what? Do you understand a word I'm saying right now? I think you do. Just it seems very clear to me what I'm saying. Sounds like someone's running. Well, all right, I'm done. That was fun. Wowzers, wowzers. That was fun. I like it. I like new games. Is that like a trend right now? I never heard of that. Can try body language and gestures next time, maybe. Okay. Well, I'll try it one more time with one piece of tape. Okay.
But you guys have to guess what I'm saying before the tape gets wet. Excuse me. Looks like no one and please like and subscribe to the channel. Yo, we're playing a game someone suggested where I put a piece of tape on my mouth. You have to guess what I'm saying. Okay, I'll tell you what I said. No one's guessing what I'm saying. I did say excuse me. I did say excuse me because I hurt. But I did say excuse me. And then after that I said something along the lines like, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you all have I hope and I something, I forget. I didn't say anything about the Lord actually. I was just telling you guys that I love you and appreciate you and please subscribe to the channel and I said excuse me. Excuse me was like the first thing I said. All right. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Back. Thank you. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. It's very much appreciated. And I'm going to call it a night, okay? Much love, guys. You take care and have a good night. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. No, I love you too. Love you guys. All right. Peace out.